time you meet me in Gate City.
Oh, Cody Pope. I know Cody Pope.
Our friend is Cody, yeah, we not having a good day.
Smack dab in the middle of all that. That was beautifully said. And I love that you said when you have a microphone in your hand.
And we were able to do it.
Oh, just showing up.
Yeah.
What up, world? Welcome back to another episode of Cody Central. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for coming for your first time. If you've been here every week or if you've never been here before, every week is just a little bit different and we're always in for a good time. So let's get locked in and get ready for a good night. Big shout out to my first two people in the comments. Appreciate you guys. Much love. We got a fun one in store tonight. Tonight we are doing favorites of 2025. So we're going to be talking about favorite movies, favorite music, favorite food, favorite concerts, all sorts of stuff. I got a good friend of mine who is going to be strolling in here any second now. And we're going to be going back and forth about some music stuff and some of the other things that have happened this year. I'm excited to hear from you guys, some of your favorites as well. And that's what we got in store. Hopefully I sound good. And as soon as my guest walks in, I'll introduce him and hopefully he sounds good as well. This is the second episode, by the way, that we've made available on the Hellhound Publishing Facebook page, as well as the Cody Pope Facebook page and the Hellhound Publishing YouTube channel. Hopefully everybody is subscribed to us over on the YouTube channel, but drop us a comment. Let us know where you're watching from. Shout out to our YouTube people. I see you guys. Much love. We got a fun one in store. Let me actually get something going here while Chatty Cathy over here is in the lobby. So being that this is the last episode of the year, this episode is not sponsored by anybody. However, we are keeping the sponsorship open for next year, doing the same exact thing. It's super affordable on the website. I'm going to literally make a commercial for your whatever we're promoting. We'll plug it in the show, and I'll be plugging it myself throughout the episode as well. Shout out to everybody that did sponsor in 2025. Huge shout out to Danny Hen. Make sure you check out his channel, Hen Dog Half Schoolyard Pro. Big shout out to Photography by Ann Rova. She sponsored as well. Big shout out to her. Make sure you check out her channel. If you want to sponsor for next year and get involved, we would love to have you involved. And here is a quick little video about how to get involved. And then my guest will be here with us momentarily.
Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is go to hellhoundpublishing.com. Go to the menu, go find Cody Central, our show. Then you're going to scroll down and you're going to see a bunch of different donation options. Each one will have some really cool stuff that you get. Go to checkout, tell me what you want me to promote, cash out, simple as that.
Microphone used at a fucking club or whatever that never taken care of.
You're on the show, by the way. Your camera's not on, but your mic is, so they just heard whatever you were saying.
Oh, it was just about gross mic shit.
What's going on?
So look, without further ado, well, I'll get into our weekly segments and stuff, but I'm excited to have my friend here. So let me bring him on camera. Everybody drop some applause in the comments and shout out my brother Steve K.
What's going on? Hope everybody's had a good year.
Hell yeah. Sorry you're a little blurry. Let me tighten you up real quick. Get your camera locked in place. High tech stuff, you know. Yo. thank you for coming to hang out tonight, dude.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Oh, our friend Rob says, "Hey, Steve."
What's happening, Rob?
Shout out to Jen. What up? Let's just get it out of the way and name the 4K of Eyes Wide Shut as release of the year. So I wouldn't disagree with you. That was one of the ones in my pile of things I wanted to talk about. So I'm glad you brought that up. All right. So let me get into it. Sorry, I got my notes here. I got a different setup. This is actually the first episode that I've done from the home studio with a guest. So we got tight quarters in here, so I had to figure out how to make this work, and part of that was keeping my script on my phone. So sorry to break the magic to you guys. So all right, so I'm gonna do a quick music of the week and then some other stuff. So music of the week this week, and I don't know if you know this guy. He's actually from Massachusetts. I picked M. He has a new song called "The Consistency" that my man Byron G did a remix to. So song is called "The Consistency." When you find it on streaming platforms, it'll say Byron G remix. I had to cover this one. M. is one of the best people that I've had the pleasure of meeting through my journey in music. He's an immensely hard worker. He's an independent hip-hop stalwart, and he's a positive thinker. Hopefully many of you guys also recognize Byron G's name because he's one of my favorite creative collaborators through the years, and he's another hardworking, dedicated craftsman with whom I've been fortunate to build a catalog alongside. The track is honestly perfect for the both of them. The track really embodies exactly what both of these guys have gone through in their own individual journeys, and with Byron adding a new soundscape, the wave is just like truly impenetrable on this one. They have great chemistry on this. Awesome song. Hope we get to hear more from them. Hopefully they call me for a feature. And but seriously, go check that out on all streaming platforms. That's M. The Consistency Byron G remix. And speaking of Byron G, shout out to my brother Byron G. I have a ton of new music that I'm cooking up. So a lot of you guys know Hellhound for the Holidays was my last show that I'm doing for a couple months. Part of that break is so that I can like record a lot of this music that I've had in the vault. Me and Byron got a ton of stuff. Me and Bizza got a ton of stuff. I have stuff with a dope artist named Suede Breaks, who I've been sitting on for years now that I got to get out. I got like a ton of really special records in the can, so I'm going to get all that stuff ready, but I'm trying to get the shows and all that stuff booked out ahead of time so that we can promote them, get everybody together, figure out our travel arrangements, blah, blah, blah. So help me get the word out there however possible. If you want me to come rock in your town, or you just want to help get the word out there, Cody-Pope.com has everything you need, and a little sampling of the stuff that you can get on the website is right.
Then I stopped too late. How could I be so selfish? Do this lost on in the state, like inventory of dead ends. I miss whom I can't, memories of my dead friends. It's my soul on the record, like removing the mask. Brain connected, feel electric, intermeshing spacecrafts. Then I opened up and I looked again, saw the sound like it's the base of my friend. Lost some gems, I'm bound to lose some more. You got the prescription, you got me fixing. There's a lot you've been missing since I built this lot to do something. This got me crawling. Not perfect, not even close to alright. If you're with me, let me hear you say alright. I'm all about my name, yo.
Yo, big thank you to everybody that's been supporting the website this year. That was something that I really kind of tried to harness this year, was getting everything on the website. So if you're looking for my show dates, if you're looking for tickets, if you're looking for merch, if you're looking for the albums, like the digital, if you just want to listen to the MP3s or the waves, if you want to watch the music videos, if you want to get to the podcast, everything is right there at cody-pope.com. And every time you guys go to the website, that's helping my SEO, help me be more popular than random Tennessee college football players, and hell knows what other people have the name Cody Pope. So music of the week is the new M. Dot record. Really, you should check that out. I think you'll like M. Dot a lot. He's really like, the best way I feel like I could describe it is like working class hip hop, but he's very much rooted in like the classic hip hop style that we both kind of like have an affection for. He literally has records with Method Man, records with Pete Rock. Like he like tours Europe every year. He's like one of the hardest working people I know, and the music really backs it up for sure.
Yeah, no, when you mention him, I just put him into my notes, and that's always one of the biggest things I found. I mean, yeah, I know it takes time to put out quality work, but sometimes some of the gaps in projects feels way too long. So people putting out consistent work and consistently good work, that's always something I'm down to fuck with.
Yeah, it's a tough dynamic nowadays where even us as music consumers are, the way we consume has changed so much because things are so easily accessible. We're not listening to the same album 27 times before we buy another one.
Well, you know, we have so much shit.
I mean, certain things do get the,
but you're not wrong.
But even so, it's like your digital device doesn't even encourage it. It'll jump you to a playlist or jump you to a radio station or something after that project's done.
Mm-hmm.
As where like the CD would just kind of start back over, and you would just kind of keep living in that space.
No, I mean,
hi Nate, thank you for jumping in here. Much love, buddy.
What up, Nate? No, I'll find myself, I mean, I'll go back almost every other day to check like the new music coming out or something, or any like pre-releases, and it's like, you know, you'd be here 48 hours ago, you know, like they'd be announcing it on, you know, it's very rare where an artist will just come out with like an album out the cut.
Yeah.
No promotion, no, oh, this is coming out this date, pre-order, whatever, no singles. It's just like, boom, here's a full-length project. So yeah, no, especially just always having now like AirPods in all the time too. I mean, always just going through stuff, trying to find new stuff. And
it's almost, this kind of goes to my taste in movies too, but it's like, because of that consumption method, it makes me go backwards, where it's like, I realize how much stuff is already out that I don't know. So I want to fill my void with that stuff rather than like the thing that just came out this week. And I'm trying to create a better balance, especially like doing the show, and like we're gonna excuse me, gonna have some other shows next year that are a little more focused on certain things. And so like I want to have a good balance of like what's happening right now and be able to like be a positive figure in that. But it's like, man, my interests are just always like stuff from the past that I just am like, because it's like even art, you know, it's like, I won't like dive into the whole Beatles thing, but like I grew up a Beatles fan. You know, like parents were Beatles fans, like just have that indoctrinated into me.
I think everybody had that parental stage with the music I mean, I can still sing almost every Steely Dan lyric from the early stuff. Right? And I mean, like who the fuck these days is listening to even Steely Dan? So no, you're not wrong. I mean, I was right there with the Beatles in high school and all that shit.
Yeah. And even with them, I find that, you know, I'll find like a unreleased George Harrison demo that I never heard after all the, you know, so it's like, I don't need whatever is on the shelf right now, because all the stuff that's behind me is like incredible. And it's like a shame that more people aren't talking about it today. Shout out to Ryan. What up, Ryan? I see you in the chat. Appreciate you getting in here too. I'm excited to hear what everybody else's, some of your guys' favorites are. So movie of the week's gonna be a little different this week. So you guys may have seen me posting about it or whatnot, but if you've been following the movement for a while, I've done 2 variations of a show called Hellhound Film Club. Originally, it was an audio-only podcast. That couple episodes are still available on streaming platforms today. I want to say we probably did that almost 10 years ago now. But at the time, I didn't have the capacity to keep it going. So that kind of like went on hold. And then earlier this year, I tried to bring it back as like a YouTube show. Those episodes are up on the channel. Hopefully you're subscribed. And those episodes I liked a lot, but they were just super time intensive production wise. So I have a new format. They say third time's a charm. So I've spent the last couple months really kind of like tightening everything up and putting all the pieces together. And I'm excited to announce that Hellhound Film Club is officially returning in 2026. I have a slew of awesome guests already lined up. We already have movies lined up. And the new format, I think, is going to be the most exciting for you guys to watch. It's going to be the most fun for us to do as like host and guest. And it's going to bring up the most different stuff about the movies that we watch rather than the second iteration. While I'm proud of the episodes, feels a little more of like me being like, and in this year, it's like more of just like reciting facts and stuff. So I'm really, really excited about this. So in honor of bringing Hellhound Film Club back and having a new weekly show to bring you guys on top of Cody Central, I wanted to show you guys a little trailer about what we're going to expect in Hellhound Film Club. So check this out. Let me know in the comments if you guys are excited. I love you guys. Here it is.
Criterion level conversation laced in these lyrics.
Hope you guys dug that little teaser. I just wanted something to show you guys though, but it's going down. We literally start producing the show this week. Have first couple episodes that are going to go live. We also have some episodes coming up that are exclusive for Patreon too. So without getting into it too much, basically the run of what we're doing for the show is I have like all the episodes lined up, because I'm releasing the episodes around when the movie's initial theatrical release date was. So when it first came to theaters. So like if a movie came out January 8th, 2000, and that's what I'm watching, I'm going to put the movie out Tuesday of that week to try and encourage people to go and watch it, hopefully. So I have a bunch of movies that I'm going to fill with guests. And then I have some movies that are going to be bonus episodes exclusively for Patreon, because they're just movies that I want to cover. So a lot of cool stuff to check out on that front. This is a great time to get involved in our Patreon. We've been on Patreon since 2018, so way before your favorite podcast. Right now, we still have our $1 tier. So for $1 a month, you get exclusive access to everything Hellhound Publishing. That means all of our music releases, you get to hear them anywhere from 14 to 30 days ahead of its actual release date. So you'll get a private stream that you get to listen to. When we have ad-free episodes of the podcast, those go right on the Patreon. We do gift packs that we send out to people with stickers and exclusive gifts. We've done pencils, all sorts of stuff. And eventually that $1 tier is probably going to go away. So this is a great time to get involved. You get all of the access that everybody else does for $1 a month, and that support goes to keeping all of this stuff in motion. So much love. Thank you guys for that stuff. And lastly, on the movie front, before we move on, as I tell you guys every week when we do movie of the week, I'm on Letterboxd, which is an app that is dedicated to movies, movie reviews, wish lists, watch lists, all sorts of stuff. Like professional movie critics are on there, people from the film industry are on there, Martin Scorsese is on there, and then you get schleps like me on there that just like put my reviews out to 5 people. But everything I watch, I write a review, I log it, and with the new season of Hellhound Film Club coming up, I'm going to be watching and reviewing way more movies than ever before. I think I did like 50 reviews this year, though, if I'm not mistaken. So consider following me on Letterboxd, get involved, support your local movie theater, support your local physical media company. And if you are interested in Letterboxd, here's a little bit about that before we jump into the rest of the show. All right. I'm going to skip the events section because we're at the end of the year, so I'm sure most of your events are celebrating New Year's, and I hope it's swell for you. So but just as a reminder, if you have events happening next year, send me an email, codycentralshow@gmail.com. Send me the flyer, send me all the info, whatever, and we will plug it during the show and make sure that we get the word out. Let's get people going to cool events and get people out in the world again. That's codycentralshow@gmail.com. Okay, so I don't really need to introduce my guest because he's been hanging out, but this is my boy Steve. Steve and I have been friends since high school. Not only is Steve a very trying to think of how I want to word this, but like he is a like at a scholarly level of history, of world history, unlike most people. And parallel to that is also like a diehard hip hop fan as well. And just like had a very great collection of music in general. And so that's something we've always kind of bonded over through the years. And originally we were going to do like a Media Monday thing where, you know, like once a month or something like that, we were going to like talk about new releases and stuff like that. And we just let the time slip by, and you guys know that I suck at podcasting. So that probably helped a lot. But I knew months ago, I think we planned this out like a long time ago. I said, I was like, yo, the end of the year episode, I was like, you got to come on and we're going to talk about like all of our favorite stuff from the end of the year. And hopefully this will help keep the motion going for next year's show and stuff too. So I am stoked that you came, and I want to ask you about a couple random ones that maybe we didn't prepare for, and just see if you do have any thoughts. Chat, I would love to hear your guys' thought as well. Thank you, Nate. Nate said, great show. We're just getting into it, so get excited, man. The first thing I want to get into is like your favorite food or dining place. Like, did you have a spot that you went to this year that was just like levels above whatever your daily driver is?
I mean, honestly, it's nothing crazy, but you remember a while back when we kicked it and I got that East-West stir fry from Shorty's?
Oh, snap. Yeah.
Dude, I've been addicted to that. It was like once a week or every other week. So it's nothing crazy. It's not some hidden gem in the wall spot. But
yeah, but people sleep on Shorty's, man. Like
that food, every single time it's good.
Shorty's has like a loyal following, thank goodness. But like people in different circles I've roamed in, it has. Shout out to Mike Wing. Mike Wing, Time, and Lep. Three of my favorite rappers from New Hampshire. I miss all of them, but they all worked at Shorty's at one point, and got a lot of us going there. And man, that is some of the best, most slept on Tex-Mex around.
It's good. Like I said, I think when I ordered it when we were kicking it last, I hadn't been there in years. So
Exactly.
yeah, like I said, I mean, it's not like I found some like little hidden gem restaurant somewhere like a couple towns over. It's just I was thinking about over the year, like that's probably the most consistent thing that I've got. Like
I love that. That's awesome. Oh, that's so good. I have two. One is Zoe's Place. Have you had that yet?
No, where's that at?
So remember where 7-Star Pizza was?
Oh yeah.
So this is Nashua stuff. If there's any like out of town people in the chat, so 7-Star Pizza was on Main Street forever, and one day it just kind of shut down shop and flipped over really fast into this place called Zoe's Place. They do one of the best super beefs that I've ever had.
No shit.
If you're into the super beef, like the North Shore beef stuff, whoo boy, it's up there. It compares with like the North Shore beefs for sure. If you live in Nashua and you haven't had Zoe's Place yet, I encourage you to go and check that out. Awesome. And like the people that own it are really dope. The guy who owns it is like a professional wrestler. It's so gnarly. So like on Instagram, he's always posting like clips from his wrestling shows and stuff like that. It's sick. Ryan said they are pretty good. Tried that night we hung out. Yeah. I hate to admit this, but after Hellhound for the holidays, a friend of ours, shout out to Jess and Danny, they went and got Zoe's for us before the show was done because we were going to go somewhere else and hang out. So they grabbed me a super beef 3-way, just how you do it. And we go to the old studio, we go to the studio that I used to operate out of that is now 603 Beat Collaborative. And we're just like there having a good time. And they give me my food while we're like all sitting in this. There's like a bunch of us sitting in this room about to just, drinking, playing games, whatever. And I get my sandwich and I crack it open a little bit. And all of a sudden I'm like, I pack it back up and I just like wait for the room to like the opportunity to go. And I just drift and I go into the kitchen by myself. And I'm like, okay, I had to be alone to eat this thing. And then I just fucking housed it. Like, probably had James River fucking flowing all over my beard and shit. I went in and finished this thing as if I hadn't eaten a meal in a month. And no regrets. I cleaned myself up, went right back in the room, and it was like I was all good again.
No, the beard food issue is definitely a constant problem. Like this, every time I go to eat, and if something gets in there and you don't notice, you're not going to notice unless you go to straighten out afterwards. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Certain foods, it's just going to happen. It's just going to happen. Anything, ribs, whatever the hell, big ass sandwich. It is what it is.
Right.
It comes with the territory.
So we got Shorty's in Zoe's Place. And so my grand prize, my main contender, whatever you want to call it, they're based in Manchester. They're a food truck, but they also operate out of a space on Elm Street as well. So kind of like depending on the day, they might either be at an event or you can catch them at their spot on Elm Street. This place is called Dead Proof Pizza Co.
Oh shit,
dude! Shout out to Dead Proof Pizza Co. Shout out to Dante, the guy that runs it. It was like a one-man band that he's like built a team for, and like he's like built this thing from the ground himself. I think he's from like Derry or Londonderry or one of those like areas nearby. And dude, it is some of the, to say some of the best food doesn't like give a clear picture. It is some of the most like interesting and like unique food. It's like they take like for example, somebody said let's do Zoe's again for a rap night. Yo, that might be they have a DJ there on New Year's Eve, so that might be the case. Dude, so Dead Proof does they do these chicken tenders. These could easily be some of the best chicken tenders of all time. And part of it is like, look at the side. I'll show you first.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And they taste incredible.
Yeah, like, imagine the way those look. God,
you only need the 3. Chat. I don't know if you guys can see this. You guys, the light isn't going to do it justice. Look them up, Dead Proof Pizza Co. But I kid you not, some of the best chicken tenders I've ever had in my life. And their pizza is also like phenomenal too.
Jesus Christ.
They always have a crazy like menu of just the best toppings, and it's like one of those things you want to support it because the guy who runs it is just like the nicest dude. He's awesome. His team is great. So it's like, I want you guys to win. Like, I want you to
stay around.
Like, I want you to be around forever and to take this as far as you want to take it, because everything they do is like on point. And I literally, if I could afford it, travel to it, whatever, like I would literally eat it every week of my life. It is I could go there and like, dude, the last time I went, I brought her with me too, so we got a bunch of stuff to split. And it was like they had burgers you could do, and like they did their version of like a rodeo burger, and it was just tenfold. Like, then I got the chicken tenders, the pizza, like I just can't say enough about it. I know a lot of people on the internet know about them, and the word get like, dude, they'll do, so like when they're at the spot on Elm Street, they'll do like lunch from 11 to 2 and then close and then do like dinner 4 to 9 or something. Dude, the last 2 days in a row they've sold out before the end of the day.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That, I mean, between the photos you showed and that endorsement, definitely gonna have to check them out. That sounds amazing.
It's the type of place that like her and I will like drive to Manchester, order the food online ahead of time, pick it up, and then bring it back home and eat it, and it's still like phenomenal. And it's like, even for what it costs, it's like no regrets. Like, it's just like, wow, I'm treating myself to like some of the like something special. And so I literally decided today to do a favorite food of 2025 thing, because I just wanted
of that.
I just wanted to shout them out because I just think their food is that good. And Ryan, who you know, Ryan, our homie, is always in the chat. And hopefully 2026 is going to be the year that we get to have Granite State Ramen, which is Ryan's new Japanese ramen pop-up vehicle that he's put together. He actually, so when Ryan was on the show months ago, he had a fundraiser going to like get all of the equipment, and he like surpassed his goal. And so
good shit, Ryan. Congratulations, man.
Yeah. So he's been acquiring all the stuff that he needs and putting everything together, and hopefully next year is going to be the year that we get to try it. And so I like to throw that stuff out there as like motivation too, where it's like, that kid that runs Dead Proof is just like any of us, you know what I mean? He could very well be younger than us, for all he probably is, and is building a business that is gonna like be talked about around the world. And so I hope to see more people in my circle like achieve things of that magnitude. Yeah. So that's that. Favorite books of 2025. Do you have any like favorite books that came out this year?
that came out this year, probably. I've read, I think I'm about to finish 26th book of the year. So I mean, I've just kind of been like churning through
Nice.
some.
Man, I love that.
It actually would have been more. I got hung up on this one book called Brooklyn Crime Novel, which wasn't bad. It wasn't badly written. It's just I got about a third of the way through, and I actually had to look up if I was missing something, which I've never like had to do for a book I'm reading. And I guess the whole time I was just waiting for like a major plot
Yeah.
or apparently like I don't know, a major character. But no, the book is just really essentially just like a bunch of little like Brooklyn vignettes, like jumping around like the decades, like certain areas, and I guess characters like stay the same, like older, younger, whatever. So I'll have to give that one another try. Um, but no, yeah, I've read a decent amount this year. The most recent ones I'm reading were the 2 Jurassic Parks. Yeah, I'm almost
hell
done Lost
yeah.
World. Michael Crichton, definitely solid author. I've got a couple more of his books on the way. Actually, one series that I just got my brother for Christmas is this. I mean, it ended like 20 years ago originally. It's this fantasy series, Demon War Saga. It is so goddamn good. So goddamn good. And the thing is I've never had anybody that I've known read it, so I can't talk to anybody about it. I can talk to them like, oh, like this story is about this or that, but not like, oh, what was your favorite part? Oh, what do you think about this character's death? Because a lot of the main characters get it. I mean, it's really solid. So I mean, honestly, like even though that came out a while ago, except actually out the cut, the author just decided to drop Ari Salvatore, just decided to drop a new trilogy on top of that 20 years after they ended. So he's got that story going again, which is solid.
That's awesome.
But yeah, no, it's called Demon War Saga. It's really, really fucking good. Besides that, I'll just like kind of take a shot with different books. Honestly, almost judging a book by its cover. There's been a couple where it's like if I were to downsize my collection, it's like, all right, yeah, I read it once and that was that. But yeah, no, it's definitely been a good year for that. How about yourself? What have you been reading?
Not as much as I wish I had, honestly, but I had 2 like notable books that I just felt like I should mention, if nothing else. One of them, and this is like obviously, as you guys can tell, feels sacrilege, but I actually found it in the form of an audiobook. And because I drive 8 to 10 hours a day, it's nice to have stuff to listen to sometimes. And so came across my recommendations and I recognized the author as a stand-up comedian that I had followed, or that I do follow. And so it was like one of those like, oh, I didn't even know this existed. Like, let me check this out. And the audiobook was honestly like one of the coolest things I've listened to, because every like chapter is a different like comedian friend of the author's narrating for this character. So the book is called Running the Light. It's by Sam Talent. Sam Talent is from like Colorado. He's a brilliant stand-up comedian, just so funny, like very like I'll show you some stuff, but you guys really should look him up on YouTube after. Sam Talent with 2 L's, Tallent. But he has this book called Running the Light. It's an audio book. You can listen to it everywhere. And it's basically about a struggling stand-up comedian who like lives life on the road and is like living out of his car and is like fucked things up with his family and like fucked things up with his kids and is like living show to show. And so it's like really like it gets like really heavy at times, where it's like he'll go out on stage and like be funny and you'll be laughing, and then all of a sudden he goes into his car and is like getting high or like driving to find a place to pull over and sleep or something, you know, it's shit. And it's like, so you have these like surges emotionally. And it just was like, it made me want the book, and I would like buy it and read it on my own, but experiencing the audiobook was like, holy shit, this was like such a well done production, like, and it just like brought the story to life in the way that like a one narrator audiobook might not have kept people captivated in the same way. And so Sam Talent, already a great comedian, also a brilliant writer, and has now produced this incredible audio version that is on all streaming platforms. And even if you don't listen to audiobooks, I really encourage everybody to check it out. It's just like, if you're just like you guys know me, if you're sitting at home smoking, chilling, whatever, throw that on the Bluetooth speaker while you're just like sitting there. You know what I mean? Like if you get sick of scrolling Netflix or whatever, like throw something like that on. I used to always tell people, and I don't know if we ever talked about it. I found this like over a decade ago, I think. There's it was put together by NPR actually, and it's a podcast called S-Town, which stands for Shit Town.
I think I remember you mentioning that.
It's about like the clockmakers, and it ends up being this whole story about this like famous clockmaker dying and like his connection to people in the town and shit like that. And it was like one of those things that I like stumbled upon on accident and like changed the course of my like creative diet, so to speak, of like, wow, like I didn't expect to be into like a radio program podcast kind. I mean, like obviously I'm into that kind of stuff, but like it was like a newer thing that I was like, wow, I didn't have any, you know, like I'm not into like clocks.
It's not really something you were like generally interested in,
yeah,
and, like looking for.
And it turned out fantastic. And so for years I've been telling people about that, and I think that this kind of fits in that category as well. Like this is another thing that I would just like sit and listen to and soak in, and just like the fucking storytelling is just like unreal, just so good. So yeah, so those are my two, because I did read some other stuff, but it wasn't stuff that like came out in 2025. It was just stuff that I got, so I didn't know like if anybody gave a shit about. I guess I could. It's my show. I could do whatever I want, really. But I tried to keep it to things that came out in 2025, just so that try and support the arts and keep things moving, hopefully.
Well, yeah, shit, with books though, it's kind of what you were saying about albums, although always looking for something new. But if there's a backlog of like music, I guess you can get through some of those projects in an hour or two. But I mean, it just depends on your time for reading, how fast you can get through them. And even then, it's like, doesn't matter if you go fast, you got to comprehend what you were reading.
Exactly.
But yeah, I've same way. Like I always check the copyright date just to like see.
Yeah.
And I know that I definitely got some books that like came out within the last year or so. But I mean, again, it was just shit that I found this year.
And that's the thing. It's like the most important thing is to keep your like diet of reading going at whatever cost. You know, it just goes back to my thing of like having the show is like a platform to like try and spread awareness about shit. And so I'm always like, all right, I'm like, how do I do my part to like give people like some creative uplifting or whatever. Next section that I tackled a bit, I don't know if you have a background in this or not, but favorite podcasts of 2025. As great as Cody Central and Hellhound Film Club are, I do listen to a lot of podcasts too. As you guys know, I drive a lot every day, so I spend most of my day listening to stuff, and so I have a bunch of podcasts that I thought really like hit the mark for different reasons at different times in the year. What about you?
You know, honestly, it's kind of like with documentaries as well. For some reason, I've just never gone into them. I feel like, you know, just if I'm getting information like that, I've always just been more of a reader.
Yeah.
If I had, well, the only one I can think of, just because I'll see it on like my Instagram feed. So even then, I'm not just listening to it; it's like watching. I guess let's do like Chris Van Let, something like that. He interviews like professional wrestlers, but some of the clips I'll watch are just like the ones from when like we were growing up or whatever.
Yeah.
So, if he had like Mick Foley on there or something. But yeah, I don't know. I've mainly got to have to sit this section out just because I've really never listened to a podcast or had a favorite one or whatever. I mean, I know there's like history ones out there. I know there's ones on like unsolved murders or like specific disappearances, all good stuff, but it's just I've always been more inclined to like read about that on my own, even if it's just off like Wikipedia than the bibliography section, where they cite their sources, go through that, whatever the hell. But what are some of your podcasts?
Well, I will say I should have added this on my list. It's not so. The thing I want to recommend to you, I guess it might not technically be a podcast. Maybe it's more of a YouTube show or channel. But dude, I would check out Digging the Greats. So it's this DJ that hosts it, and his whole channel is basically like dedicated to breaking down classic hip hop. Like sometimes the episodes might be about a specific song and like how did the sample get flipped into make the beat this way, or how did the vocals get done this way, or like he did a couple weeks of episodes that were all like, I think he spent 30 days and only listened to music on cassette. And so he has like a video series about like what it sounded like and like using cassettes and making mixes and stuff. But the whole thing is just like raw classic hip hop shit that if you're just like at home chilling and like need something to like stimulate your brain, that is like such a dope show, or such a dope channel, I should say. And the guy is so smart. He's like he plays bass and like a bunch of other instruments. And so his like understanding of like music theory and how that translates into the stuff that we listen to is just like so fascinating at times, where it's like, damn, like I've listened to this album how many times and I've never like understood that this was like some intentional concept sonically or whatever the case was. Like it's crazy. And he's dedicated to classic hip hop. That is like what he has built his foundation on. Ryan said, I'm a Critical Role fan and this year has been hype. Just saying. Oh my God. Robert jumps in right after and he said, You Must Remember This by Karina Longworth. This year's episodes focused on Golden Age American directors. Just so you know, I'm not bullshitting you. I don't know if you can see this. Of course, the second show on my friggin' list is literally You Must Remember This. I love that show. That is just so Steve will validate that I'm not bullshitting.
Yep.
Yeah, You Must Remember This is it's all about like old Hollywood, and every season is like about a different like a theme. And so this year's season was Golden Age directors like John Ford and like the people that made the movies that the people we like were inspired by, kind of shit. Yes, Karina is the queen, absolutely. That's one of my favorite podcasts ever. I didn't put it on my list for this year because I didn't get to listen to it as much as I would like, and the episodes have been kind of scattered. But the Twilight Zone podcast, I know I love Twilight Zone, so of course, but like
shit's classic.
But the podcast, dude, is once again one of the most well put together programs, like production wise. Like this guy puts so much thought into breaking down these episodes and like what the stories are about, and like trying, like, dude, he's reached out to basically any living person that was involved in the show in any capacity. He had Earl Holliman, who was like on one of the first episodes ever before he died, come on the show and do an interview. It's an audio only show that's been around for years because he does like other shit for a job, so sometimes there's like gaps in the show. But he's like intending to finish the entirety of the 5 classic seasons, and I think he's on season 5 at this point. But one of those shows, I've just been following that for literally almost 10 years now too. It's been on that long, and it's won countless awards for the writing and production of just like how well put together the show is. And even if you're like a Fairweather Twilight Zone fan, it's just like a fucking incredible, like if you're like driving home from somewhere and you like need something to listen to, it's another like
What was that? What
the
was it
Twilight Zone podcast.
Just that?
Yep.
Recommend that to someone.
The host's name is Tom Elliott, so you'll usually see like Twilight Zone podcast with Tom Elliott, but that's another podcast that's like phenomenal. So the first one on my list is a little more fun, but it's a show called Are You Garbage? I found this show maybe sometime last year. Like I'm kind of new to it, honestly, compared to like a lot of the fans, but it's these two stand-up comedians that host it, and they basically bring on a new person to interview, and they ask them questions instead of like interview questions. It's like stuff about their home life and like growing up and stuff like that, and they're basically diagnosing if this person is trashy or not.
No, that's
it is. And like the show's gotten so popular now that it's pulling like bigger and bigger guests, and so you're seeing like people from like movies and shit like that, like answering these like hilarious questions about like what kind of snacks they ate, or like, you know, like just stupid stuff that just it's like one of my favorite shows that I've discovered this year. And not only is the YouTube show funny, but they tour it live, and so they tour as like comedians. And so when you get tickets to the show, the two guys each go out and do like a half hour of stand up, and then they come out together and play Are You Garbage with the audience. So then they're like pulling people from the audience, and the audience members are like telling these like horrific stories to basically have the two guys diagnose if they're garbage or not. It is one of the funniest things I've ever watched, and there's so much like back catalog of it that it's like I've just become so attached to it. And that is definitely one of the few shows that I've like become a huge fan of this year. Oftentimes if I'm like in a shitty mood or had a bad day, I will like seek that out just to like start laughing again.
And I mean, honestly, with some of the shit that people I'm sure say, end up feeling a little bit better about yourself.
Oh my god, yeah,
well,
absolutely.
Especially because I'm sure if there's that many interviewed, you're gonna have the people that'll always what they thought was normal and went on in everybody else's house or life. So they're gonna say that, and that's when they see the people's reaction, they realize maybe that's a little fucked up. Or,
exactly, dude.
And props to anybody, because everybody, when they're by themselves, probably does some questionable ass shit. Yeah. And the people that will just straight up admit it, whether it's, you know, just to get laughs or whatever else. But I'm sure there's some wild ass confessions or things on that.
It's like people whose moms used to smoke in the car with the windows up.
Oh well, that was just like
crazy
80s.
shit.
Yeah, that was some like fucking Donnie Brasco. I'm gonna catch a draft shit.
Yeah.
You know, while he's sitting there chain smoking in a closed car, worried about a fucking crack in the window.
For real. So Are You Garbage was like my favorite show this year. You must remember this definitely took a lot of space in my drive time this year. I had a job where I was commuting to like Revere. I was basically driving from Nashua to Revere,
and then Nashua, like some
or
direction.
to Northampton, New Hampshire.
Yeah, Jesus.
So it was like 2 hours a day is perfect podcast. Listen, you know, that's basically 2 episodes of a show a day. And then now the friggin' job that I have now, I drive literally like 8+ hours a day. So it's like I just go back and forth between pods and music. And so Are You Garbage was number 1. You Must Remember This was number 2. Number 3 was a show called Story Wars. Story Wars is hilarious too. It's another like comedy podcast, and it's hosted by these two comedians. It's Louis J. Gomez and Big J. Okerson. I don't know if you remember Big J, because Big J used to be like in like the deaf comedy circuit and shit like that back in the day. But so the two of them host this show, and they do it live with an audience. And so it's two tables. So they're always at one table, and then they have three panelists every week. And it's usually comedians or whoever. And before the show, everybody, including them, submit like 5 to 10 stories based on like a theme. Like every episode is a theme. And so everybody submits their stories, and they have a producer who like randomizes them. And so they're all sitting at these tables looking at like kind of how like I have this screen right here. They have a screen that they're looking at. And so a question will come up, and the producer will like say the story, and it'll be one of these panelist stories, and that person is trying to not get caught, and everybody is trying to figure out who it is. And so they're like, and you can lie your ass off if you want. So it's like just people it's almost like playing Clue with these people who are talking about like shitting their pants in high school or something like that. That has become so like, that is like the new version of game shows to me, where it's like they're not even really competing for like a prize. They're just competing for like bragging rights of like who had the funniest stories or who was the best liar. And that is like a newer show. It didn't start this year, but it really took off this year. And so I think we're going to see more and more stuff. Like the way people talk about like Kill Tony, I think Story Wars is going to eventually like have a similar level of popularity, where it's just so much fun, even for the audience to watch, versus a lot of podcasts. Like we're just talking. Luckily we're live so people can talk to us, but a lot of shows are pre-recorded. So you're just like hoping that this conversation is interesting. But on a show like that, you always know it's going to be like rambunctious or wild.
I mean, shit, unless it's an absolutely necessary subject or something, if something's just boring as shit or it doesn't grab somebody's attention, you can take the most interesting subject, but if you don't deliver it correctly, nobody's going to give a shit. You can take the most boring subject, but if someone delivers it with like some fucking passion or some flair or something, you got people saying like, oh, maybe I might check that out. So
I had a show called Soder, which is the comedian Dan Soder. It's just him interviewing people. But Dan Soder is such a great comedian that his interview style is just like perfect. And those are like really fun, quick listens. Really cool show that took up a lot of my time. They do two shows, but it's the same producers and hosts. One is called Disgraceland, and one is called Hollywoodland. And basically what both shows are about are like the crazy, horrible things that like famous people went through, basically. And it's like those like stories that people like don't want you to know. And like, so Disgraceland is like any kind of like celebrity, politician, you know, like whatever. And then Hollywoodland is like specifically like people from Hollywood. But that there's a ton of episodes of that, so that's why that's always a fun listen. And then Bad Friends is Bobby Lee and Andrew Santino, another like comedy duo that's just interviewing people, but like, dude, their fucking chemistry and their like unfiltered humor with one another is just like like me and her will just watch clips on YouTube sometimes because they're just so funny. That's like one of those shows where it's like, try to watch that and not laugh. Like it's a challenge. Wow. Nate said, Cody, I like to see you tour with Dr. Dre.
Oh shit.
I would love to tour with Dr. Dre, brother. Trust me. If that opportunity ever arose, I would do whatever I had to do to make that happen. And then I know I just spent a bunch of time talking about those shows that none of those shows needed my help. The next three are more like local based, and so I just wanted to plug them because hopefully you guys will check them out. They're really dope too. one is called LeChance Encounters. So LeChance Encounters is a guy named Alex LeChance who played in a ton of like hardcore bands and punk bands and oi bands and stuff, and now is actually a realtor. He does like real estate for like homes and shit, and does this podcast as well where he's just like interviewing people. And so because of his like background and his experience and shit, he has this really interesting dichotomy of like growing up a hardcore kid and like seeing that side of things, but also being this like renowned real estate agent and family man and like great community figure. And so he gets this awesome dichotomy of people where it's like one week it might be a coffee shop owner from Concord, and the next week it might be a bass player from the Bruisers or something like that, you know, like. And he is involved in stand-up comedy as well. He does like the local circuit and stuff. And so him and his production partner, whose podcast I'm going to name drop here in a sec too, the two of them are putting on a comedy show up at the Shasky next year called The Wrong Hill to Die On, where it's like people are going to basically have to like defend the indefensible. And
that's always fun.
Yeah. So definitely check out LeChance Encounters on YouTube, and also check out Nick Sands Presents. Nick Sands is the producer for LeChance Encounters, but Nick does a similar thing as well, and the two of them will appear in each other's videos and stuff like that. So it's always dope to support local. And there's a show called Airing of Grievances that is based out in Western Mass, and is a great interview show that interviews a lot of figures from the New England hardcore scene and stuff like that. And those guys have an awesome interview style, and their shows are a little more long form. So it's like you might get the 2 or 3 hour episodes sometimes, versus like a lot of other podcasts kind of keep like a strict, like, okay, like even me, like I would usually cut off around an hour because I've found that's usually where we like keep people. But like I don't have to do that. But some shows kind of like put themselves in a box.
Originally just
like,
stick to that.
Yeah. So Airing of Grievances is really cool because it's like they just let people go off and tell freaking crazy, you know, it's like sitting at the bar with someone you just met. Favorite movies of 2025. Do you have any like anything that really like struck a chord with you?
I mean, I haven't really been to the movies all that much, and I mean, again, like most people, I got a few shows that you just rotate for like background noise. I did see Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein.
Ooh, okay.
That was a pretty solid adaptation. Always liked the style of his movies. Always loved the cinematography. I saw somebody once described him as like fairy tales for adults.
Yeah,
kind of keeps that theme. I mean, it was good. It was solid acting. I like how, like at the end, they kind of like a homage to Bride of Frankenstein with one of the characters, and I mean, just small details like that. But it was good. Dope. It was good. The acting was solid. Yeah, no, not a bad little movie. No,
I like that. I'm excited. I've been wanting to watch that one myself because I love Guillermo del Toro as a person. Ryan said Fantastic Four was enjoyable. I wanted to catch that in theaters and I missed it. But I feel like I would be willing to check that out on Blu-ray. I'm glad you enjoyed it because that gives me hope.
And that one, it took a few times to land that, apparently. Every time they try to make Fantastic, whether it was a show or a movie, that shit was fucking bad.
Can I say, though, on it, I don't know if you saw it. The one that came out with, like, Michael B. Jordan, that Fan 4 stick or whatever. The one that, like, has like a really bad fucking production story, and like the studio like took it out of the director's hands and everybody went crazy and the movie apparently sucks. It was like, I want to say it was like pre-pandemic, so it was like maybe like 2017 or 18.
Jesus Christ, it's a different world at
but
this point.
Dude, I never got to see that one, and I want to see that one.
They should just make a movie about making that, by the sounds of it. Goddamn.
Exactly. And apparently there's like a director's cut that never was like allowed to be finished, but like people say that would have been a killer movie if they just had like let him do what the fuck he wanted to do. So it's funny. I think maybe intrinsically I didn't pursue the new Fantastic Four because I still feel like I need to like see that one to just like check it off the checklist. I had Nosferatu on my list. Technically, that came out in Christmas of last year, but I saw it this year.
Nosferatu was fucking tight.
Yeah, that was outstanding. Definitely one that I'm glad I saw in theaters. Definitely gonna buy it for the collection as well. Definitely could see myself watching that multiple times again.
Oh, that was an excellent movie.
Loved that.
Only thing I think I read a description about a similar movie where they thought the actor playing Nosferatu was an actual vampire, and I thought that's what that. But besides that, the movie was phenomenal. I mean, it's not like I went through the whole thing and was like, "Where's that plot point?" But I mean, just like where the first couple minutes. But then when I realized it was just like a remake of Nosferatu, but that movie was great. I love that shit. I've always liked the vampire subgenres, like with Guillermo del Toro, the Strain.
Yeah,
that show. I know that it's been off the air for, it's been over rather for a while, like 2017, 18, whatever.
That was impressive.
That show was fucking. Each time I watch it, I'm always surprised that got made, just because it's such like a niche show. But
I think that was a comic book property, if I'm not mistaken.
It might have been. I know that he and what's the author's name? Chuck Hogan.
Yeah,
they wrote it, I believe.
Ryan said the Strain was so fucking good.
The Strain was fucking good. Like I love the way I don't know, I guess spoilers or whatever, but kind of like how what was the second iteration of Dawn of the Dead or whatever, where they were in LA. Like I was expecting like to see the second city of United States like slowly fall, but then they were gated in their fucking cul-de-sac. I mean, this was like a multi-season long, like, dying of New York. At one point, I think people, like reporters, like in this show, started, the siege of New York.
Yeah.
They knew some shit was going down and everything. And yeah, it was a solid ass show. Actually, a rare instance where I actually like the show better than the books. The books are good, but just the way the show ended and everything. But yeah, so sorry, I know it's not exactly 2025 stuff, but just mention Frankenstein and then Nosferatu. But yeah, Nosferatu was a solid ass movie. That show was really good.
Well, that's why maybe next year when we do this, it'll just be we'll do two lists. We'll do one of stuff that came out in 2025
and stuff we found,
stuff that we consumed in 2025. Because I watched a lot of cool ass movies this year, and I didn't get to write about them. One that I did get to put on this list though is Mickey 17. Did you get to see that?
No.
Bong Joon-ho, one of the like brightest filmmakers from Korea. It had Robert Pattinson in it, and it was
he's turned into a solid actor. I think people thought he was going to get shoehorned as just the Twilight guy. No, he's got some fucking acting chops. He's really good.
And so it was about like this period in the future where they're able to replicate people, and when they make a new clone of somebody, they have to kill off the old clones.
No, that's fair.
And so somehow Robert Pattinson is like the 17th version of himself, and like is alive long enough to not want to die. And so it like follows his journey through that. And so awesome. I saw it in theaters, so it's a fun movie. It takes place like a lot in outer space, so it's like really cool. And Robert Pattinson is dope, great actor. Love a lot of stuff that he's been in, but the reason that I was willing to see it like sight unseen is because Bong Joon-ho made a movie that I would put on like if you like held a gun to my head and made me pick like a top 10 of all time, Parasite would have to be on that list. Have you seen that?
I did get around to watching that now, and I mean, you're right. You see that shit. I mean, end of the year stuff. You're always seeing different posts or whatever. Where top movies of the year, or, this century so far, whatever. And that one's always consistently now in the top 10. Rightly so. That movie was fucking excellent. Korean cinema in general, like of course,
exactly.
Like any industry, if you dig deep enough, there's going to be bombs and movies that suck. But I mean, the ones that hit, shows too, are
Go back to
fucking
the
so good.
Vengeance trilogy with Old Boy.
Dude, I saw The Devil. That
Yeah.
movie is fucking brutal, and that is a bleak ass movie. And yeah, the like shit, you mentioned Old Boy, the hallway scene with the fucking the side fighting and everything, bring out the hammer and shit. Like, no, oh my god, the ending of that fucking movie. What are we talking about?
I know, dude. Dude, the crazy thing is, I have the manga series, and it don't end like that.
No shit.
That movie was like made
Tame?
to be fucked up.
Oh,
like,
made to be okay.
Yeah.
Because I was
yeah, I love the manga series, but yeah, the movie is something else. Man, Ryan mentioned a bunch of dope movies that I didn't get to see. One Battle After Another. Did you see that?
That's on my list. I want to see that.
I'm pissed, dude. It was they filmed it in VistaVision, which is like a method of film that was available like decades ago.
Didn't they do the Grindhouse ones with that? I think like Tarantino's or whatever. Yeah, it's got that like
only 3 fucking theaters in the world that could show it, and one of them was in Boston, and I never got around to going to see it.
Yeah, I wasn't aware about that with that movie.
So I really hate myself for not seeing that in theaters, but definitely going to see that either way. And there's rumors that maybe it'll be back in theaters next year. But yeah, Hedda, don't know anything about that. Got to look that up. Begonia, really want to see Begonia. And fun fact about Begonia, haven't seen it, but I know that the cop that's in it is Stavros Halkias, another stand-up comedian who is fucking hilarious and has a great podcast called Stavi's World.
His name could be a little bit more Greek, though. I don't think
dude,
you know,
his show literally, like his podcast when it opens is like a bunch of like, it's like 8 seconds of Greek music and him going Opa.
Gotta keep the stereotypes alive. Gotta love it.
Dude, it's got all like the blue and white fucking buildings painted on the wall behind him. And
I say
shit.
stereotypes, but I mean, goddamn, if it's
Dude,
not fucking
oh my
true,
God,
Jesus Christ,
dude. Yeah, as a Greek lineage soldier warrior man, you would love Stavi's podcast and everything. He's hilarious,
dude. There's definitely an inner nepotism or just something like that. If I like see something and it's by somebody like Greek, I like automatically want to give it like more deference or like check it out more or something like that. It's not a good way to go about shit, but I mean, what can I say?
I feel that. Oh, he mentioned. Oh, this is Robert, not Ryan. He also mentioned Nouvelle Vague, which is on Netflix. I've been wanting to watch that with Nick. So, you ever seen Breathless?
I don't think so.
So that's like the poster that I have by my door out there. That's like one of my favorite movies. That's like the movie that a lot of people say kicked off the French New Wave in the 60s. And it was directed by Jean-Luc Godard. And so it's like an awesome story, but it's also famous for the fact that like it was basically shot like run and gun style. So like they didn't have any permits. They didn't like have a full script and like a plan. They would like pick the locations and like show up, and he would basically tell them what he wanted them to do, and they would like do it. And it was like this shit had just like never been done like this before. And so recently there was a movie made about making Breathless. And it looks, even though it's a Netflix movie, it looks really dope. So I'm definitely excited about that. But it's like we were talking about before. It's like I'm not just gonna put it on. It's like I gotta create like a moment where it's like, all right, I'm not gonna be on my phone. I'm not gonna be thinking about shit I gotta do.
Reading a book simultaneously, straighten up or whatever. You want to pay attention
or like
and watch
checking
it.
my phone.
Yeah,
like
because you end up just missing a whole bunch of shit, and it's like, yeah, why the hell am I watching this if I'm not watching it?
Yeah. Sovereign, I haven't I gotta look into that. Sinners, I definitely want to see Sinners. They've been saying is going to go back into theaters, so I almost think I'm going to wait to see that in theaters first, because that seems like such an experiential movie.
I might do the same. I got that on my new movies that I've bought, and then I just haven't cracked open yet.
Yeah.
But that one I'm definitely probably gonna watch sooner rather than later. Bump it to the top of the list.
Let me see. Oh, I put The Day the Earth Blew Up, which was the Looney Tunes movie about them in space trying to save planet Earth. I had been so on like early episodes of the podcast, I was really pushing hard for people to go and see that once again, like sight unseen. But it was because that was part of that whole, if you remember the Warner Brothers thing that happened where they basically shelved a bunch of movies for tax write-offs, including Batgirl. And Batgirl was literally like 90% done and had Brendan Fraser and Michael Keaton in it, as well as the first time having a live action person of color play Batgirl. And they literally for a tax write-off shelved this movie and like a bunch of other movies. And so the Looney Tunes movie was one of those movies. And there's this company called Ketchup Entertainment that has basically been like buying the rights to these movies and then giving them the theatrical releases. And I can't remember what the first one was that they did, but they did like 3 of like the like animated based ones. And that one was like the second one, I think. So I was like, every week on the show, I was like, look, you guys don't understand. I was like, if this company does this successfully, not only do they save these movies and all of these creators like get to benefit from it again, but imagine if they can eventually save a movie like Batgirl or like who knows what else is there. And a company pulling this off will hopefully prevent companies from wanting to do this tax write-off shit again, because that is like, dude, this actor that was playing Batgirl, think about it. This would have been, Coyote versus Acme. Thank you. That's what I was trying to think of. Coyote versus Acme had an all-star cast, and that was like a live action animated kind of like hybrid. And the cast of the movie was like devastated. They were like, dude, you guys don't understand. This movie was like outstanding. Like, they're like, I wouldn't die on this hill if it wasn't worth it.
Plus wasted time. They could have been pursuing other projects.
And that's what I was getting at with Batgirl, where it's like, this is like your breakout role. You spend a year, maybe more, making this movie, and then it's never going to come out. So it's like, even if you got paid from it, you have a year of not working essentially on your resume. Like, you don't have anything to show for what you've done. How do you get your next gig? And so people underestimate how much this fucks up the lives of people that aren't household names. You know, we're like, yeah, Brendan Fraser will get more jobs. He'll be fine. Michael Keaton can do whatever he wants in life. He'll be fine. But there was a number of people involved in that who, like, this would have changed their lives without a doubt. So anytime I like catch wave of Ketchup Entertainment like trying to push a movie, I'm like, I'll just go see it even if it sucks. I just want to like support that cause, and hopefully they just keep saving movies from like sitting in the fucking graveyard forever. The last 2 aren't really, I wouldn't say they're my favorites. One of them is like a documentary, I guess. It's called The Perfect Neighbor. I don't know if you got to see that. It's one of the most heartbreaking things I've watched all year. Absolutely devastating, but it's all, so the whole thing is basically an accumulation of like body cam footage and like house security camera footage and shit like that. And basically the like spark notes of it is this elder white lady moves into this neighborhood that is predominantly all other families that all know each other and have kids, and their kids play together and whatnot. This lady is like an old curmudgeon that lives by herself, and she constantly starts issues with all the kids and the parents in the neighborhood. and she calls the cops. You know, it's like the cops kind of get to the point that they're sick of it, and things escalate to a point of no return. It's and it just like it just makes you want to cry that like people really have to like live with this kind of shit in their lives and people like this in their life. It was definitely one of the most like affecting things I saw this year. I think it's just like a Netflix documentary, but it's called The Perfect Neighbor.
Documentary.
Yeah, it's literally like that's
like
what,
some
the whole
like
thing
some
is,
real. Wow, shit.
You're seeing all of what really is going on between body cam footage. And,
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, no, I
Yeah,
must have spaced for a second when you said documentary, just because. Yeah, I'm like almost like what was the Alien Invasion movie from a few years ago, where it was like
Cloverfield.
Yeah, where it was shot like primarily with a
Yeah.
hand video camera.
No,
so
but
I
this
thought that
is
this
like
was just dude.
this is like literally the real footage that like so the documentary filmmakers like did like a Patriot Act thing and like acquired all the footage or whatever.
That's crazy. People are fucking nuts. Love it. Like Misery really does love fucking company sometimes.
Yeah.
Like how the hell are you gonna move to a neighborhood? I mean, I've never heard of this, but I'm assuming shit like kids too loud, neighborhood, whatever the hell.
Just all crazy stuff.
How are you
like,
gonna move to a neighborhood
claiming
like that
borders
and then
don't exist and
yeah,
just
like,
shit that's like, lady, just leave everybody the fuck alone.
it's
But,
like areas that get gentrified. It's not even just being
Yep.
priced out of neighborhoods, but you got new people moving in there. Like I remember
Yeah.
seeing a post years ago. These people, they moved from, I think it was actually like New Hampshire. They went to Brooklyn and they were complaining about like the sounds of block parties and like neighbors out at all hours of the night, and they were getting lit up in the
don't
comments.
move somewhere with culture.
They were
then.
just getting lit up in the comments. Like you moved to Brooklyn and not even like further out. Like you were like see Manhattan like Brooklyn like. And what you're complaining about the noise? You're complaining about like people getting together in the streets and having like block parties and shit?
Yeah, like did you not research your neighborhood before you moved?
It's like
there?
if you want to be the most hated person in that area, and you probably don't, then yeah, keep doing that shit. See how long that goes on. So that's crazy. I might have to check that out. Just out of curiosity.
Everybody, yeah. I honestly would say everybody should watch it once. Cry your eyes out. It is it's a very Robert has it right. It's a very hard watch, but it's something that everybody should see because it's not far. It's like we're not far removed from it. You know what I mean? Like this was just a couple of years ago. Like so unreal. Last movie I have before we get into our music section, the good stuff. I couldn't put this as a favorite, but I wanted to at least put it as like an honorable mention, which was which was the Justin Tippings movie that Jordan Peele helped produce or distribute. I don't know if you like saw a trailer or anything like that. It's basically, it has Marlon Wayans in it. It's about these like diehard football players. Like basically Marlon Wayans plays like the equivalent of like an NFL legend basically. And he's like at a point where he doesn't know how many more seasons he has left. And so there's this other kid who's like the college prospect kid. And Marlon Wayans like takes him under his wing to train him. And it ends up being this like incredibly like cultish, like you're just like, what the fuck did I like enter kind of shit. And so the movie didn't get great reviews. I am a Jordan Peele junkie, so anything he like slaps his name on, I will watch, even if it's just his company producing it. And I really enjoyed so much of the movie without like spoiling it. I just felt like the ending left me needing more. The ending just wasn't satisfying enough for everything that we went through. Visually, it's stunning. It is like one of the most visually interesting movies I've watched in a long time. You can tell that they really like honed in the cinematography of everything. And the acting is great too. It's just a fucking ending.
I hate that shit. I mean, I've seen people mention No Country for Old Men recently about that, which that one I think is fine. I mean, yeah, who wouldn't like a better resolution? But sometimes shit like that just happens. I mean, like when Anton Chigurh just walks off. I mean, how many times is the last time you see some and a person like that's like a fucking force of nature? Like he didn't just go off to do nothing. So I mean, but for the way you're talking about that sounds like completely unsatisfactory, which does suck, especially if everything leading up to it was good.
Yeah.
And then it's almost like Game of Thrones. Who the hell goes back and watches the first few seasons? Because there's not going to be any plot points wrapped up.
Yep.
There's not going to be any character development that fucking matters. Nothing like that. So I mean, if it just ruins the ending, it kind of takes away from everything else. And I mean, that's one where no matter which way it's spun, that's it. It's like if there's a shitty prequel to a previously, great series of movies or whatever. That's now canon. Like that's how things. And it goes the same with the ending too. Like if that's how it ends, that's how. But I mean, shit. Also, how many things in life also have unsatisfactory ass endings? So but that still sucks because I mean, if a movie's good, if a book's good, Stephen King's got that same problem. I mean, massive volume and everything up until like the last 50 pages. Sometimes you're just like, all right, let's just get the shit over with.
Exactly. Like, do we ever pick our own ending yet?
I know.
I will say that it was funny. So right after it was done, Nick watched it with me, and we both just kind of were like just didn't know what to say. So I just got in my letterbox and started writing shit, and then I finished it. But then I was like, "You haven't said anything." I was like, "What did you think of this?" And she not made me, but she inspired me to change my Letterboxd review because she was like, it was really good, but I hope there's a director's cut or something that it feels like there's stuff missing that they just had to make it this time. And if there was an extended cut, I think it would feel better about because it's just the way that it wraps up. It's just oh, okay. All right, cool. That's so it's there's got to be something that you guys decided not to use.
Which is always fucking bizarre. I know it's going back 30 years, but what I said earlier, I was reading those two Michael Crichton Jurassic Park books.
Yeah.
So I rewatched Jurassic Park, which still holds up. Fucking phenomenal movie.
Yeah.
Then Lost World, that's one actually where I like the first few chunks of the movie, but then when they go to the city, San Diego, it's all right, it's kind of stupid. But for whatever reason, they cut out in that where I think the raptors or the T-Rexes get out, which explains the ghost ship. It's such a small but crucial scene. So yeah, I mean, there probably will be because we know they film so much more for movies and shows, and so much gets cut. And I mean, I could tell you were it was funny watching you talk about the movie to Nicoletta, and it's how you actually seem pissed about the ending.
Yeah,
because now I might check that one out just to see how unsatisfactory that is.
It's worth watching. I really did think it was a sick movie the way it was put together. It's a concept that could go very bad, and there are a couple times where you're okay, let's pull our foot off the pedal a little bit here. But through and through, I would say 90% of it is man, this is wild to see. It's just a cool, visually attractive movie. Marlon Wayans in this character is outstanding because he's not being comedic. He's almost a psychopath at times. So it's really cool to see him
have some range.
Yeah.
It's like Adam Sandler if he's not in his own movies. If he's in the hands of another director.
Yeah, if he's in Punch Drunk Love.
Click, which I don't know if that was an actual if that was in the same vein as an Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
But he can do some serious ass roles. But I mean, obviously at the point that he's at now, who wouldn't want to just fuck around and make tens of millions of dollars and get your friends paid and everything
exactly.
Like that. But no, it's good. It's always good to see. Mentioned Robert Pattinson earlier. He's really turned into a solid ass actor. can
Oh,
get,
yeah.
and it's a wide range of characters too. It's not like he's just shoehorned into
Dude,
this one role or something like that. Like he's all over the place.
See,
Daniel
Good
Radcliffe-
Time.
No, I haven't seen that.
Good
haven't seen that
Time
one.
is Robert Pattinson with the Safdie brothers. Man, definitely recommend that. That one, that's like a pre-pandemic one too. But that was like one of the first ones I saw with Robert Pattinson that made me be like, oh, this is not the guy from Twilight. Like, because I was like, when he got it, because obviously, I'm a huge Batman fan. So when he got announced as Batman initially, I was like, huh.
Is this a fucking joke?
Yeah, I was like trying not to be mad because I was like, I want to support this, but like, what am I missing here? And so I just started going back and looking at like, what am I missing? And then The Lighthouse came out, so that helped too. I loved The Lighthouse. So that obviously was like, okay, I know this guy can do cool shit. But Good Time was one of those ones that made me be like, all right, this guy is like, he's special. Like he very much is like, I don't know, I hate comparing people, but like sometimes I see the roles that he does and it makes me think of like what James Dean would have been like had he have lived long enough. You know what I mean? Where it's like he would have grown out of being the cool guy and done more mature, like thoughtful roles. And obviously he had the acting range to do it. So it's like interesting to see that Pattinson like has survived what could have been like a pigeonholed type life.
You're a glittery ass vampire.
Yeah.
Have fun with the same kind of romantic ass role.
And he's really carved out like a stellar lane for himself now instead. All right. So I know you've been waiting for this. I know the people have been waiting for this. We saved the best for last. Favorite music releases of 2025. I know you have a couple, so I'm gonna let you kick it off, and maybe we go back and forth, or I'm sure we have a bunch of mutuals on our list. I went through today and kind of like reassessed the year because obviously I was doing my music of the week every week, and I went through like some of the release schedules and stuff. So I was able to find a bunch that I want to talk about, but I also found a bunch that I was like, I realized I didn't even get to listen to that. And so I'm hoping either you or somebody in our audience checked it out. But if you want to set us off, what was like one of your like highlights of the year for 2025?
Oh, I mean, first of all, the Mass Appeal's Legend Has It run. I mean, that was like a fucking gift.
I know.
All those albums. I normally when I'll do like a top 5 or 10 or whatever the hell list, it's not like a real ranking. It's just the ones.
That exactly.
But I was actually surprised. I listened to an album that I only started listening to it maybe a few weeks ago, maybe within the month. Favorite album of the year by far, hands down. I was surprised. I was surprised because I thought it was going to be, for example, like the Nas Premier album, which is one of my top albums of the year. Been eagerly waiting for that one. But no, so I'm going to save the one that is my definite album of the year for last.
Okay.
So first one I'll talk about, Big Crit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is it the Mileage?
No, it's the where's this at? Dedicated to Kalogeropoulos.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That album is solid. I mean, definitely a Crit album. Definitely a Crit album. But
Right.
it wasn't like Digital Roses Don't Die, which I got a couple songs off that album.
Oh yeah, it has some joints.
But I mean, that also was a bit of a different Big Crit sound.
That was definitely like the biggest departure.
This album though is definitely back to his roots. I mean, how can you not love? And I know you do. You're the one who got me into Big Crit. But I mean, I've tried to recommend him to like other people. Anybody who does listen to him ends up fucking with him.
Yeah.
I mean, dude just loves rapping about his whips, rapping about Texas fucking hip hop and all that. I mean, he is still so consistently good. I forget exactly which track, but there is one track where I feel like they almost went to sample Summer Madness.
Yeah.
And it's like it almost never hit that like next like bit of the iconic fucking synthesized beat or whatever. But that album was solid. I'm very glad. Like
Yeah,
Shit.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Big Crit is like.
I was
one of my
waiting for that
favorites.
one, dude. It'd been a few years. I mean, it
Yeah,
came out with a couple singles
yeah.
between them, but I think
He
it'd been
definitely-
about 2 or 3 years between Digital Roses and this one. But
yeah, and even before so it's like if you think about before Digital Roses, there was a couple year gap before that too.
Oh yeah.
A couple comments we got to address here. So Robert dropped a couple of his best film releases of this year. Return to Criterion, Return to Reason, Eyes Wide Shut, Sorcerer, Twins Peak, Fire Walk with Me, Barry Lyndon, In the Bedroom from Imprint, The Searchers 4K from Warner, Cruisin' 4K from Arrow, and In Water. Dude, so I definitely want to get The Searchers 4K, and I pulled these aside because I wanted to make note of these and I forgot about them, so I'm glad you mentioned them. I'm going to save the best one for last. But I was lucky enough to acquire a copy of Sorcerer, thank goodness. Barnes and Noble had one hiding out in like the back shelf. So I don't know if we've ever talked about it. So like the Criterion movies I collect, they partner with Barnes and Nobles 2 times a year and do a 50% off of their entire catalog.
Dude, Alex, for years, trust me, I'm
Right?
well aware of the Barnes. When he was visiting this year, went to Barnes and Nobles. Let's see what they got for Criterion.
Right.
And he, at this point, already had all the ones that he had like wanted already. But no, I know about about that partnership.
Yeah. So that is a gold mine. That's pretty. I pretty much wait for the sales to buy most of the stuff that I want, unless there's something that like really strikes a chord. But I'm glad you mentioned those, Robert, because those were on my list, and the other ones you mentioned, I really want to get my hands on, especially The Searchers. But this one that I saved aside, you'll appreciate this too. So where I live, there's an FYE at our mall.
Somehow still.
Well, not for much longer.
I know. The fucking sales.
So it breaks my heart that they're closing. So the other day, me and the missus were walking around, and I was like, they literally have like 2 like racks of shit, and I was like, it's like 80% off. I was like, let's just go see if there's something. Like, let me take a look. I'm looking, I don't really find anything. What do I come across in a random clearance bin? Boom, Busta Rhymes, Everything Remains Raw, the Flip Mode album, the first ever live feature DVD, and it's got all of these Busta joints on it. And so you'll note it has an $8 sticker. You can't really see that, guys. I'm sorry. The lighting in here sucks, but it is an $8 sticker.
$8 sticker.
So I'm like, all right, cool. It says clearance. So I'm like, it's either $8 or it's on sale. I was like, I gotta have this for my collection. So I bring it up to the register, and the guy goes to scan it, and I had been hesitant about buying shit on this day. And I don't say I'm not balling by any means, but I literally only had $100 bill. And I know most places don't want to use that. So I just was like trying not to buy shit. But I really fucking wanted this so bad. And so the guy rings it up, and I go, yo, I have like $100 bill. Is that going to be a problem? And he goes, yeah, it is. It's 80 cents. I was like, what? Bro, this thing, 80 cents. I was like, you might as well just give it to me. Oh, I wish you guys could. Oh, will this get in focus? Look at that. 80 cents. That's how much that DVD cost me. Seldom in my life have I ever been that excited about a find.
I mentioned last time we were on the podcast with that fucking Grassroots album.
Exactly.
Man. And what's
over here somewhere.
And I feel like, right, like you hadn't even heard about them until I had mentioned that.
Yeah.
So you just would have overlooked that.
You definitely like put me onto that.
And
selling for hundreds online, and you find it for like in the under $5 bin or some shit.
For real. That's crazy. I know. I was hoping I could yank it out over here. Pause. Damn.
So yeah, but I mean, you've had some fines. I mean, 80 cents, that's crazy.
Yeah. And we have a comment for you. Nate asks, Steve, who is the better rapper, Ice Cube or Ice-T?
I like Ice Cube better. Ice-T's probably consider it, but I just fuck with Ice Cube's, especially, I mean, his verses in NWA, excellent.
Yeah.
His solo work, Predator, great album. I'd have to go through more of Ice-T's stuff too, but I mean, I definitely fuck with them both. But personally, I think Ice Cube, but I think the professional like critics would probably say Ice-T. But yeah, no, I'm Ice Cube, man, more of an Ice-T fan.
Okay. Hopefully that answers your question, Nate. That's a tough one, man. So that was diplomatic. So your first mention was the series of joints. Let me ask you about Slick Rick's Victory.
I fucked with it. I fucked with it a lot.
Really enjoyed it.
It was good. It was good to see a Slick Rick album after like 24 years.
Yeah.
25 years. No, shit. I think it was 26 years. Last one, Art of Storytelling, was 99. That album was fucking good. One of the things, if I'm not mistaken, like with newer artists, like Big X the Plug, like I fuck with him so hard, but all of those tracks are like 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure the Slick Rick one was about the same. But that album was good.
Yeah, Slick Rick had some short joints that were like kind of, so I say kind of like on my album.
Dude, yeah,
15
songs, 27 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure there's no skits or anything. But I mean, again, it's 2025. When the hell did people think they were going to get another Slick Rick album? Like, I'm sure by like 2005, people were like, all right, is this even going to happen anymore? 2015, they, like, except for like hip hop aficionados and like old school fans, how many people would know about fucking Slick Rick?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But no, that I fucked with that one a lot. That was a good way to kick off the Legend Has It run. And so, I mean, shit, 27 minutes, but it's 27 minutes of Slick Rick the ruler. So
that was definitely one of my favorites as well. Let me.
15 songs, 27 minutes. That's fucking crazy.
Right.
Not even. I mean, it doesn't even come out to about 2 minutes a track, just because it's not fucking half. But no, it's good. Art of Storytelling is still my favorite Slick Rick project. That is such a complete fucking album.
But this was such a great like old man record. And I don't know if you saw, but they did like videos for like every song, and they put them together as like a short film. It's so dope. Like even just the like everything that Mass Appeal is doing visually uplifts the records so much. Similar vein, I guess maybe that's a stretch, but a record that I didn't hear a lot of people talk about this year that I'm interested to know if you listened to or not. Public Enemy put out a new album.
No shit.
So you didn't hear about that, huh?
I don't think so.
It like came and went so fast.
Maybe I did.
And when I was doing my list this year, I was like looking and I was like, oh my God, I like saw it on something that I wrote down. And I was like, I don't even remember. And so I went back and like was listening to some of it today. For anybody that's interested, it's called Black Sky Over the Projects, Apartment 2025.
That's a Public Enemy title, all right.
Exactly. It's pretty cool. It's interesting what you were saying about the Slick Rick album having shorter songs. P definitely did not pick up that fucking call. All the songs are 4+ minutes, which kind of was tough for me, admittedly.
Oh yeah, shit, there it is.
There was like certain times I was listening to shit where it was like, oh come on, bro, like let's wrap this up. Like, but they sounded great. The production was really cool. It's like a lot of the production is this very like rock guitar kind of.
They even had that
stuff.
sound going in their original run in a lot of those albums.
Yeah, so it felt very like organic to them. But I for whatever reason I didn't hear a lot of people talk about it.
I didn't even notice that. And I mean, usually,
Yeah.
I mean, over the last like couple months, especially, it'd be like 12:01. It's like, new fucking whatever album, or like
Right.
in the morning, like, yeah. Honestly, a good source for stuff like that is always like, hip hop albums. I think of like whatever year, and then Wikipedia will have a whole ass list. And even with that, like, you think a lot about what albums came out in even a specific genre.
Nope.
No, not even close. I mean, if you see that, it feels like almost like weekly for some of the shit. I mean, a lot of it's artists that barely would get like an article on the same fucking website or a huge follow. But the point is that is a shit ton of music. So yeah, no, I actually just downloaded the Public Enemy album right now.
Oh, hell
hadn't even listened to it. So
I don't know if we've ever talked about this before or not. Are you a West Side Gun fan or a Griselda Records fan?
I mean, like I've tried to get into him. I've got like one or two of his albums, but it's been never like in rotation.
Yeah.
Just
still acclimating to it.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. So I don't say this like I sound like the cool old guy, but it's like I was really lucky to discover Griselda in like, I want to say like 2016 or 17 or something. And so I got to see them like a couple times at the Middle East. And like I saw them the night that they signed to Shady. Nick and I have like gone and taken pictures with them and shit. And so I've really loved a lot of what they've done with their movement. And so one thing that West Side Gun did this year that was really cool, which I'm looking for, none of this shit is organized because when I moved out of the studio and moved back here, I had to find quick home for everything. So
doing some like high fidelity shit, autobiographical.
Exactly,
no
dude. Well, dude, all this stuff used to be alphabetized, at least, like the movies and this stuff. But then I accumulated so much stuff over there that it was like a lot of this stuff was all over there, and it was like, holy crap, like just crazy. So of course, the thing I'm looking for is not readily accessible, but West Side Gun put out a project this year called Heels Have Eyes, because he's big into the wrestling shit. And it was a project that he literally he recorded it in a day, mixed it that night, and then released it the next day. And part of the release was because he distributes through Rock Nation, they put out a limited CD version of it that was $8, and it was only available for sale over the course of the weekend. And so I went on Rock Nation, sent my little $8, and within 2 weeks I got a CD that was like disc artwork, the whole nine. And it was just really dope as like a CD collector and shit for them to do something like that for a project that's just a couple songs. But because he put so much into the artwork and like the cohesion of the tracks, that was a standout record for me this year. He's gone on to literally do 2 more volumes of that this year. His output is like unreal. So I haven't even had a chance to listen to the second and third ones, but the first one I had in rotation for a while because I got it on CD. So that's the kind of thing, like one of the reasons why I like getting shit on CD is because either in my car or here, if I'm like chilling here, like cooking or cleaning or whatever, I can throw a CD in my Blu-ray player and just like let the album rip, and I'm not skipping songs. And like, so that's why I'm so big into like the physical shit, because part of it is like not, it's like not skipping through songs on a playlist or not being distracted by doing other shit while you're listening to something.
Plus, it's not like that shit's ever going to be altered or anything. Granted, if you have something rare and it breaks or gets lost, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But the Ready to Die album, if you have it digitally only or whatever, when there was some lawsuit that was lost and they had to take out like a sample or two, they actually went into the one that you had, the Miseducation of Freddie Gibbs. I kick myself every day because I mean I'm still primarily just with like iTunes and shit like that. iPod since 2005 and all that. Just
OG with the iPod.
All my shit centralized on that. But I know that at one time they had the full Miseducation album because I got the Flamboyant Freestyle off that.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason at the time, that's the only track I got. Now,
that's what I was looking for.
Oh shit, $1 Million Man. That's fucking tight.
But yeah, dude, for $8,
very cool.
Like, and they were quick about it. That's the West Side Gun Heels Have Eyes record that you could buy over that weekend. I think they're all sold out. But sorry.
But like now, if you go on iTunes, and that's one of the ones I'll still check periodically. They only have it's now like the Miseducation like EP because there's only like 3 songs that weren't sampled out the ass. Because I mean, obviously, you know what are most early mixtapes? They're just people showing their fucking lyrical skills over established beats.
That's like even mine, dude. If you look up Hellhound for Hire on streaming platforms, I think is like 2 or 3 songs because the rest of them was like me rapping over a Kanye beat, me rapping over a DJ Premier and Lord Finesse beat.
Dude, the Freddie Gibbs' version 93 until Infinity. I mean, shit. When you showed me that got me that because I didn't know about Souls of Mischief at the time. That
National
got me into them
too.
And fucking Freddie Gibbs. But luckily I got that. I think I got like a burned copy, or I have the whole album, but it's not on my fucking phone. I can listen to it on YouTube, but again, it's a pain in the ass, But yeah, so I mean, having the physical copies is fucking huge. Just companies deciding, for whatever, take this out of the library. Especially, it's one thing if it's on a streaming service, they can do what they want. But if you bought something and then they just decide to alter it or take away, it's like, well, that's not what the fuck I paid for.
Dude, it's funny because like even this, if you go on streaming platforms, they had to change the artwork because WWE is like threatening to sue them right now. So it's like just even shit like that where it's like just so wild.
Well, because I'm sure West Side Gun's going to make so much money off of an image of a fucking wrestler from like 35 years ago.
Yeah, for real.
Compared to what WWE is.
Ridiculous. Dude, I'm backtracking, but I realized I forgot to mention this earlier too. I got so hyped about getting Busta Rhymes for 80 cents that my other book, just to go back to it, is it's called Bread of Angels by Patti Smith. And so quick story about that is hopefully everybody in here knows Patti Smith, but if not, she's like a punk rock icon from the 70s and beyond. And she was doing a tour showing off this is like a new book she put out. She's almost 80, mind you. And she just put out this book. So she was doing a tour where they said that she would be doing readings from the book. So Nick is like, I don't know, you probably saw, we have a Patti Smith poster in our hallway. Like Nick is a tremendous fan. I obviously love her too. And so we were in the show landed the day before our 15th anniversary, just the other week. And so we were like, yo, we should try and go. Originally, I was trying to get us tickets like a little while in advance. And first it was sold out. Then you go on the reseller sites and it was like, oh yeah, we have them for like $106 or whatever. And so we were like, I don't know. And so Nick, the genius, was like, let's keep checking throughout the day because people are going to want to get rid of them like closer to the show. We ended up getting tickets for $17 a piece. We got them literally. We got them and then jumped in the car and that's how close it was to the show. It was like, all right, we got them. This is cool. Let's take it and run. We got in the car, get down to the show. Fucking line is like wrapped around the street or whatever. So we get in this line. People in line behind us are talking about like songs, being like, oh, I hope she plays this and this. And me and Nick are all like smug, being like, actually, it's a book reading. Like maybe you should have looked into what this was. And then so we're like, oh yeah, look at us. And we get into the show, and what it is she reads a section from the book, and then her and her musician partner played songs in between each of these. So we got to hear these renditions of her catalog unlike ever before. And so me and Nick had no idea. So we were both like stunned. And then as we're leaving, everybody that bought a ticket got free copies of the book.
That's fucking tight.
So literally for like 40 something dollars, we got to see the iconic Patti Smith read from her book, perform songs, and then give us the book alone would have cost 20 or 30 bucks at the fucking store. You know what I mean? And we got this whole experience. And so like it was just like it was something that I'll like remember forever.
Oh yeah.
I haven't been able to like finish reading the book, but just one of those things that was like up there for most special books that I got this year.
Plus in the circumstances behind it too. That's fucking cool as hell.
That was definitely one of the coolest things that I got to do this year. If you guys live near a bookstore, I recommend getting this. Patti Smith, Bread of Angels. All right, let's get back to our music chat though. So we covered West Side Gun. Let me ask you about Aesop Rock. Are you an Aesop Rock fan?
Again, another one I've tried to get into. I think I got a couple of tracks, but I can't really have an opinion on them because I haven't listened to them really all that much. So.
Yeah. Aesop is one of the most like tremendous lyricists, but is understandably not easy to digest at times. So I could understand there being like a transition period. I think Aesop is outstanding.
Yeah, shit. Even the tracks that I got on him, it's just like features on other, like LP and like Brother Ali.
Yeah,
and shit.
Man. All right. Well, I'll give you some old Aesop cuts to check out. But he put out a couple projects this year, and one of them was called Black Hole Superette. And he always has these really great themed projects. Yeah, and this was a really cool one that it's not my favorite. I think is still The Impossible Kid. I think that's gonna always kind of hold a special place. But Black Hole Superette, really great listen all the way through. Great sequencing, really fun rhyming, and like sonically really matches that feel of like when you like, and you know this really well, when we were younger and we'd be going to 7-Eleven at late ass o'clock at night and just chilling in a parking lot because we had nowhere else to be, and that is like the epicenter of what your world is going to happen that night. And so that album like really encompasses that whole like feeling really well. And yeah, Aesop's one of the best lyricists in the world, but I think that because of that, people kind of like put him in that rippity rappity flippity flappity category, and he has become a more like thoughtful and nuanced songwriter through the years. And so like his catalog the last like 10 years even is just filled with like friggin' gems. Just
shit, he's got albums out the ass right here.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think it's going back to what you had said earlier, because it's not like, I don't want to listen to him, or anything like that. It's just more like there's either so much stuff that's already in backlog, like hell, even the golden era of hip hop, 90s stuff. There's a shit ton, even of well-known artists, where I just have barely listened to it because there's just sometimes so much to go through. But I'm gonna definitely have to check that out because I always fuck with some great lyricists. So piqued my interest on that for sure. I'm gonna check out some of the albums after I leave here.
Hell yeah, I think you'll dig that for sure. All Oh, I don't want to step on one that you might have. Do you have another one lined up?
What else we got?
I've got a pretty expansive list, so I could very potentially squash one of yours.
You know, honestly, another one is the Big L's Harlem's Finest.
All right, I'm glad you brought this up. I haven't been able to listen to it all the way through yet, but I will say that this is the one that has the most divisive reviews online, and a lot of my like peers musically have commented publicly that they're like very disappointed with it.
I saw people saying it's a lot of previously released stuff.
Yeah, just kind of like rehashed shit.
But you know what? It's the dude was killed in 1999. He had one album come out when he was alive, one after his death.
I think that's the case right there, where it's like he has the perfect catalog for somebody of such awful circumstances. What are we doing? Who does this help to do this now?
If there's anybody that hadn't really like fucked with him, say it's like a younger individual and they're going through like newer music or something like that. But I mean, also for the unreleased stuff on there, it's kind of like with Slick Rick. It's 2025. Who thought we were gonna get like a newer Big L album? So honestly, I fucked with that. Plus, I mean, his older stuff. It's if I want to listen to his stuff that wasn't released, I can go on that, and you're gonna get some older stuff too. So I think with something like that, I was going in, almost like forgiving. It would have to like sound bad, which I don't think even people that were disappointed in it could say that it sounded that bad, because I think it was a pretty well put together album. But if it was just like shitty, just like it didn't flow, if the beats were like trash,
well, they even just like they reused the friggin' beat, the Milkbone beat from the freestyle with Jay-Z.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, bro, if you're gonna reuse that shit, at least get a beat for it.
That is a classic beat, though. I mean,
shit, right? But it's like, how many times are we gonna reuse the same beat? That's like, holy shit, dude.
No, I know. And the thing is, it's like Big L, I wouldn't have even generally put in like my top favorite artist list. But I mean, he was very skilled. He's definitely one where it's sad to see where he could have gone had he not been shot in the fucking face.
For real, dude. But, no kidding.
So yeah, I fucked with that one. I thought that was good. I've listened to that a few times since it came out.
All right. I think that's like probably one of the only divisive ones that I think we'll have on this list. Honestly, I feel pretty confident about most of these. I do have to throw out for some of my heavy music inclined friends, Recollection, Vivid Dreams EP. I talked about the songs on this on the show a couple times. Basically, Recollection is like it's almost like so it's a band made up of a bunch of members of like notable hardcore bands, but they're doing like more, it's like a melodic, I don't even want to call it hardcore, but just like melodic rock kind of thing that's like really like soulful, and it's really cool. And it's like it's something very different for all of these guys from these like traditional hardcore bands. And they just did their first show in December, and it was phenomenal. So I definitely hope everybody checks out Recollection, Vivid Dreams EP. Just great listen. And as I mentioned on the show a couple weeks ago, I won't go too hard into it, but Blood for Blood is back. The legendary, iconic Boston hardcore band is officially back, and they released their first single in 20 plus years with You're Gonna Have to Kill Me. They got a new album coming out on Roadrunner next year, tour, all that stuff. So super excited about new Blood for Blood stuff. You get a chance to check out Little Sims?
No.
You familiar at all?
Not really, no.
Okay. Little Sims is a UK-based female MC who has been around since kind of like the blog era, like the 2010s or whatnot. And her catalog is dope. Like just very unique, powerful, like soulful. It's like she doesn't sound like many or any of her peers. Like I wish I had like a good comparison, but like she really just stands on her own in such a unique way. And she did this new album called Lotus this year. And it was another one that kind of slipped by when it came out, which I was like kind of bummed about because I like was going back and like scanning through it today when I was like looking at the release date and stuff. And there's like some joints on there that like she's a great rapper, but she has evolved into a phenomenal like songwriter and musician. And there's one song on the new album that is like borderline like proto punk meets like Amy Winehouse kind of shit. Like it's different, but really, really cool. And I'm happy to see that she's still doing stuff. So I just wanted to throw that out there as well. So that is Little Sims with a Z. Little Simz. New album is called Lotus. Really, really great listen. Turnstile, Never Enough. Great album for the Rockheads. Turnstile is absolutely killing it. Probably a lesser known cut, but you remember the band Brand New?
Yeah, I think so.
So I'm a huge Brand New fan. Nick is as well. I tell people all the time, the best concert I ever saw in my life was a Brand New concert.
No shit.
And you know I've been to a lot of shows.
At least a couple.
And Brand New was on hiatus for quite some time. Recently just got back together and started doing shows. But one of the members of the band, his name is Vinny, he recorded a bunch of solo music under the name Dear Orca. And it's this real like folk rock, indie rock kind of vibe. And the songs are really, really cool.
Yeah, no, I only have Brand New being not brand new.
But for people that are into more like acoustic, kind of like soft stuff, like folk, indie, soul, whatever, definitely check out Dear Orca. And the EP is called Please Tell Me Who You Are. I had Larry June on here, and I literally left it blank because Larry dropped like kind of like West Side Gun. Larry dropped multiple projects this year. He dropped a project with The Alchemist and 2 Chainz called Life is Beautiful. He dropped a bunch of joints, and Larry doesn't hit for me all the time lyrically, but he hits for me all the time spiritually, if that makes sense. Like the essence of what he's doing always like puts me in a good mood. And he does say some really smart shit in, you know, spread in between flexing and whatnot. But just for his consistency and the quality of everything that he did on top of it, and that Alchemist 2 Chainz project is great. And they did some great shit with that. So I wanted to put that on there too. That's Larry June, 2 Chainz, The Alchemist, Life is Beautiful.
Dude, speaking of The Alchemist, you know what I was hoping would have dropped this year was the rumored Erykah Badu Alchemist, because they had that single come out.
Yep, and they went on tour together.
And that, again, I mean, like, but kind of like, you know, be patient. If it happens, it happens. I just, if it does, hope it sounds fucking good, because she's always been one of my favorite artists too.
Agreed, dude.
You know, her shit is on fucking point, and that fucking single was good too.
Are you an Open Mike Eagle fan?
No, I don't think I've, not in the sense of like it. Just I can't have an opinion one way or the other. Haven't really listened to him.
Open Mike Eagle came from like the indie rap scene from Chicago, and he's done some really big shit since then, but still kind of like maintains a place in the indie rap scene. And he did a project this year called Neighborhood Gods Unlimited, and it's a really dope listen. Once again, kind of like one of the other records we talked about. Kind of like you had mentioned about the Slick Rick, and I had said about the Aesop Rock. Like, this is not my favorite Open Mike Eagle album, but it was a cool listen. I was really glad that I just like sat down and like vibed out to it. Open mic has like a very unique style, and like his like topics that he talks about is really like interesting, and like the way he approaches shit is like very much like a casual like person going to do their laundry kind of shit. So I wanted to shout that out because Open Mic is just like an awesome artist and doesn't get the kind of like like he's sustained for a long time, which is dope. But I do think that he like deserves more recognition for what it's worth. But I guess that's also up to him to earn. But great record, Open Mic Eagle, Neighborhood Gods Unlimited. Record that I admittedly haven't listened to, so I figured I would see if you have, because it was like a really big deal this year, was Chromacopia from Tyler the Creator.
No, I mean I've never really been that big of a Tyler Creator fan, even when he was first coming out. I listened to a couple of his tracks. I mean, it's not like they're bad. He just never like caught me. But I've seen that's like going to be up for like potential album of the year.
Yeah. It really it really struck a chord with a lot of people. I like what he does. I'm not like, I wouldn't call myself a fan to the point of like being familiar with his catalog, but I find that he appears on more and more stuff that I like and respect. And so at some point I will definitely give this album a listen, but did not hit my radar, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of the same. I'm thinking about, what is it like, if anything, half hour to like hour plus just out of my time. But yeah, I've never gone out of my way to listen to much of his stuff. But seeing all these, again, potentially could win like all these awards, whatever the hell, definitely want to check it out, see if it's worth that, or just there's a difference some years if something gets nominated because it's really good, or because it's just a generally weak field and something has to be in the categories,
Yeah.
Which I don't think it's this year. For hip hop was fucking great this year.
Yeah, dude, no, that's what I mean. There's so many records. Another one I'll ask you about quickly is Alfredo 2.
Always love some fucking Freddie Gibbs.
Yep.
The only thing is whenever I listen to like newer Gibbs, shit. Some artists will keep the same sound, some more mature and have different sounds. I am a Freddie Gibbs fan, from whether his mixtape stuff to his newest albums. Just there's something about his earlier stuff when he was in the mixtape game, when he was trying to get his name out there.
Yeah.
And then in his earlier stuff, like I think it's just always been the case where I definitely like the more like hard hitting type of beats, and like
I agree. He just had a hungrier approach.
That's 100% what it is. But
people that rap with too much comfortability, it's like I feel that this doesn't mean anything to like I like my rappers depending on their records to do well. You know what I mean?
Like
we live in this age where like people can put out duds, and it's like, well, I've already made my money, I'm set for life, and it's like, well, this is,
dude, he was trying to get out of Gary fucking Indiana too.
Yeah.
But no, Alfredo 2 is fucking good.
Yeah, he needs to not fucking diss Currency anymore, because that's whack. But otherwise, he's rapping his ass off.
He just can hold a fucking grudge.
Him and Alchemist, Alfredo 2 definitely is one of the best rollouts of the year. One of the best like branding and merchandising things of the year. One of the best stage shows of the year. Dude, they built a whole set of like a convenience store and all this shit that's like on the stage, and they like walk out of the store on like unreal levels of shit, dude. So yeah, huge props to them for that. Did you get to listen to the Rock Marciano DJ Premier project?
That was a solid ass little fucking, yeah. I fuck with that.
That was really, really dope. I know Rock is another one of those artists that like you either love him or it's not your cup of tea, but him and Primo together just felt like it was like so long overdue. Just like such a stellar.
That was another one of those ones, unfortunately, because I mean I know I got that one up. It's hella short, but it was fucking tight as hell.
Yeah.
8 songs, 20 minutes. So I mean,
These people don't have the attention span for more.
Which is fucking crazy.
Movies are the same way. When's the last time you saw like a 2-hour movie?
Dude, I watch movies in the worst fucking way if I'm by myself. I'll put something on and it's like, oh shit, I gotta do something. I want to watch some movies. But if I'm watching with other people, I have some fucking like I'm part of a society, you know. I'm not just gonna be an asshole.
Society.
But if I'm by myself, it's like, I mean, when I mentioned earlier, I watched Jurassic Park on a rewatch. Like I've also seen that, so I could have kept letting it play, but I want to see the movie, so
yeah,
pause and not. But when I'm listening to something, you know, like especially if it's something I fuck with, like you obviously want more. The attention span thing though is fucking bad. I found myself a couple of years ago not being able to like I'd pick up a book to read it and it would like take me a minute, or I'd put it down and then just start going up, and I had to like break myself out of that. Just because straight up, like with the fucking phones, like always scrolling and all that shit. Instagram.
It's just such like it becomes like a muscle like reaction. To like, open Instagram. Like it's awful.
But yeah, no, that was a tight ass little fucking project.
Yeah, and I will say, in parallel to that, Ransom and DJ Premier's project, out of this world,
dude.
Ransom is another one who just like he's like your rapper, like your favorite rapper's favorite rapper kind of guy.
Oh yeah.
But is like criminally slept on by like your casual hip hop listener. But him and Primo together, just so long overdue.
It's always crazy what really like who'll become fucking famous or well known and who won't. Some incredibly gifted lyricists that, you know, if they do break out, you know, sometimes it takes way longer than it should.
Yeah.
And then others, you got fucking like clowns or whatever, well-known, almost household names, or, you know, just because it sounds good, or they got a couple like singles or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
But
they just like kept their momentum going. In the rock world, Deftones put out a new album this year called Private Music.
How was that?
One of their best bodies of work in years.
No shit.
It is absolutely standout record. I cannot like say enough good about it, and I think that that's like the mutual consensus across most of like the music listening world, is that Deftones have always been a great band, but they definitely had a slump over a couple records in the past few years where it just felt lackluster, and they've come out publicly and kind of admitted that they like weren't in the best place. And so this album is such a redeemer, and it's like a repeat, like just let it spin. It's awesome. You just get lost in it. It's funny because the album is called Private Music, and it very much feels like, oh, this was made for me to just like listen to by myself on like a long car ride or something. So Deftones Private Music, I absolutely would put up there on like a best of list for myself. Haley, I wish I had this. I don't have the CD. It's out in the living room, but Haley Williams from Paramore put out an album called Ego Death at the Bachelorette Party. Haley Williams is the vocalist for Paramore and does her own solo stuff. I have been familiar with Paramore just because of their like interconnectivity into like punk rock and Warped Tour and all that kind of stuff, but they're all like mature adults now and have evolved immensely as musicians. And Nick is a huge Haley Williams fan, so she's like educated me on a lot of this shit. And dude, she has solo album, like, so all of her shit was Paramore for a long time, and then I think like once their like record deal ended with Atlantic, she started finally doing like solo music or something to that extent. And dude, her solo records are just like so good. It's like very like Talking Heads inspired kind of shit. And she put out one this year, the Ego Death one, and it's filled with jams that are all great. And one of the songs has this hilarious line about how Morgan Wallen is a racist, so it's super funny too. But I just wanted to shout that out because that's a fucking phenomenal record. Haley Williams, Ego Death at a Bachelorette Party. La Dispute put out a new album this year. No One Was Driving the Car. I talked about that on the pod when the singles were coming out. Phenomenal album. Opening track on that literally like gave me goosebumps the first time I heard it. It's just like very like raw, cathartic, like just feels like somebody that's like going through something and they're just like leaving it all on the table. Skip a couple of these. Currency, as I mentioned, dropped a bunch of projects this year, so I didn't even pick one. Jay Electronica had multiple drops this year, and those were, I really enjoyed those for the most part. He's obviously weird, and some of them have 18-minute fucking samples of Minister Farrakhan or whatever the hell. So it's different, but
tracks.
But I'm just excited to get Jay Electronica back rapping, and hopefully all these releases this year lead to something that's a little more malleable. I don't know, but Jay definitely had some great bars this year for sure. Military Gun, God Save the Queen. I talked about that on the show, but that album is great. I've played through that album a ton. That's a really fun listen. Okay, so there's a bunch of shit on here, but I think I have 3 that I feel like are the ones. One of these is the one that you were holding on for the end.
What do you got?
So one is obviously Nas and DJ Premier, because you had mentioned that before. One, I would assume, Mobb Deep Infinite.
That was another favorite this year.
Okay.
That was really, really fucking good.
And then Clips, Let God Sort 'Em Out.
That was going to be my album of the year, but no, actually the one I'm talking isn't one of those 3. Those 3 were all up there.
All right, that's good to know then. Let's run through so Clips. Let's run through that real quick.
Literally, dude, all I can
top
say,
to bottom, no skips.
No skips. Phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
Literally, the only criticism I have is the cadence of the hook on one of their songs or whatever, like ballerinas dancing in my snow globes. That just doesn't like sound right in my ear. Like, I don't know. There's just something about like the beat.
Oh yeah, it's like ballerinas. Pirouettes in my snow globe.
Something like that. If that's the biggest critique you can have about an album, that's a great fucking album.
Yeah,
I fucked with that so hard. If that wins album of the year, no surprise. That is very, very fucking solid.
Clips, Let God Sort 'Em Out, the return of grown man rap. Definitely has to be one of the best releases of the year.
Oh yeah,
all Pharrell production, phenomenal. That joint with John Legend.
Dude, the features are great too.
The birds don't sing. Oh man, that one, man, that was phenomenal. Mobb Deep Infinite, outstanding. Love that Havoc and Alchemist did the whole thing.
Oh yeah, kept that Mobb Deep sound.
Yeah, album, and like, see, this is, and that's where I struggle with the Big L record, because the Mobb Deep album is an entirely posthumous album of brand new music, and it sounds like P was in the room with them recording it. Like, the way that they crafted this thing was phenomenal, and I think that is one of the best examples of how you do a posthumous record.
They were also hella prolific. I mean, they also had their solo projects. I mean, obviously, can't know the exact circumstances. If I had a guess, Mobb Deep, they were a duo, significant from the time they came out with fucking Juvenile Hell.
Yeah.
Even though I'm sure most people would think it was the Infamous, that was their first album. You know, all the way up until after Prodigy died. So you have one half of your duo keeping your music alive. Anything that you guys just put down that didn't make a cut or whatever. I don't know who is involved in Flamboyant with Big L, the people around him. Plus, we're going back now a quarter of a century to when he was recording stuff in alive. So I'm sure there's just a lot more to pick from Project. And I mean, especially like, I mean, he died still young. He was like, what, like 46 or some shit like that? That's fucking crazy young for anybody.
Yeah, it really is.
And Mobb Deep was one of the greatest fucking duos in hip hop. They were so good, but Infinite was fucking really, really solid. The one thing I didn't like about that, it's just because of the song it was based on, was it's the M, the O, the B, the B, the D. Because that fucking Diddy shit. I'm just like, oh my goddamn god. It's like if somebody did like a fucking track, but then it was like to the flow of like Big Nas's Big Girl. Like, no, that I don't give a fuck. Nas is one of my favorites. He's one of the greatest ever to do it. Like, I love on the Legend Has It albums when he's getting featured, like, he's like really building it up. Like, it's not just like he comes out the cut with a verse. They got to have like, the Bravehearts or anything like that. But nah, man. Like, but besides that, and again, did I let that? I don't even skip that song with that Mobb Deep. It's just like, fuck, I just hate the Diddy one.
Like, I need to occupy myself while this is happening. Okay, a couple quick shout outs before I want to hear your final one. Fucked Up dropped a new record this year. They dropped a couple joints this year. I definitely recommend checking those out. If you're not familiar with Fucked Up is a band from Canada that really varies the scope of like punk rock, hardcore, indie rock, just like 70s rock almost. Like, they really have a wide range of the scale. And so a lot of the releases they put out this year really like pushed those boundaries a lot, and they had some great stuff. Conway the Machine dropped a new album this year. Definitely want to go check that out. De La Soul, Cabin in the Sky, that's definitely worth checking out. Danny Brown Stardust is a wild record, a little weird sonically, but really cool.
Danny Brown shit.
Exactly. What else would you expect, right? And there was some new Agnostic Front and some new Gucci Mane as well. And
I think Jeezy came out with an album this year too.
Damn.
There's one thing you can always count on for. That's not the one, by the way. That's just you drop one. Damn, fucking love that. And props to him for dropping the young after he hit a certain threshold of his age.
he earned the ability to fucking retire that.
Where was that shit? Yeah, Jeezy and DJ Drama.
Oh, damn.
Still snowing.
That's damn.
That was solid. That was definitely a solid. I fucked with Jeezy for years.
Me too. I still got my like Thug Motivation CDs.
Oh my god, yeah, that shit still goes.
All right, well, what was your final one?
You actually mentioned it right there. De La Soul, Cabin in the Sky.
That over Nas and DJ Premier?
Yeah.
Okay.
That is such a complete hip hop album. And the thing is, I actually almost passed over it just because with Dave Trugo, dying.
Yeah.
You always wonder, like, is the group going to have the same sound? Are they even going to continue to put out stuff?
That's exactly what I was going through too, where it's like, I just kind of kept brushing it off because I was like, the universe will tell me if I need to listen to this.
So I got every other of those Legend Has It albums. It when Nas and Premier dropped theirs, like I got the Raekwon one, got the Ghostface Killah one, all that. They were all solid. So I'm like, all right, I De La Soul fan. I love all their, Stakes is High is one of my favorite fucking albums.
Same.
So fucking good. And right off the bat, I mean, I was surprised as shit when I saw, except only a couple skits, and they were kind of the ones that like made the skits prevalent in fucking hip hop.
Yeah,
like De La Soul is Dead. It's like 20 plus tracks, but then
For
it's
real.
like skit song. So there was only a couple of those, which they weren't even like bad. The guest features were fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Black Thought, Killer Mike, Q-Tip, Slick Rick, Nas, DJ Premier, Pete Rock, a whole bunch of other people, hosted by Giancarlo Esposito. Excellent fucking album.
That's a great call. That's awesome. That was,
dude, and I mean, like Godless Heathen type shit over here, but the fucking title track, when Pasta News would be saying, like, and in the bars with like, find my cabin in the sky, and then the background vocals like singing over that. Even now, just saying that, like, giving me goosebumps. Like, that hit me on like a spiritual level. And I'm not exactly one to talk about
Exact-
shit in that
yeah.
context, just because it's not like the type of person that I am.
I feel
That
that.
album is so fucking good, and it sucks because you can tell that they're both. I mean, obviously they're missing Dave. They're what he brought to the group
Yeah.
and what De La Soul's brought to hip hop. I feel like it's both saying goodbye to their friend and letting him know that they're going to continue what they had built together, even though and another one who died fucking young too, is like 54 or some shit like that.
Yeah, just like too crazy.
I think it's still like, family never released the cause of death or something like that. But De La Soul's Cabin in the Sky, so fucking good. I mean, that's probably the one that I've listened to the most at this point.
Damn,
Like,
that's
absolutely
that
love
caught
that
me
shit.
off guard, but I love that.
Absolutely love that shit.
What a great record to cap the year off.
Oh, dude, 100%. And shit, like the Big Frit one. Like, the only thing I wish about that really, like, it came out in the summer, because I feel like that man doesn't have like winter albums type shit. Like, you can put on like a Mobb Deep album. Like, I feel like the Infamous is like, whether it's middle of the summer night or middle of fucking winter night, like that was just like some grimy shit. Big Crit, like that shouldn't have come out in like late November, December. That should have been like a fucking July release or some shit like that.
Dude, straight up.
But this Cabin in the Sky album, this De La Soul album, hands down. I mean, not even just album of the year for me. It's definitely already like one of my like. It's so hard these days. Like, what are your top hip hop albums? Because there's so fucking much.
Yeah.
But I know I'll be listening to this one on repeat, and it's made me go back and go through their discography again. So
that's why even like when you see like the thumbnail for the episode and shit, I called it favorites of 2025 because I didn't want to do best, because I didn't want to like rank anything or be qualitative.
So
I just wanted to spotlight the things that we thought were the best. And man, what a fucking list, dude. I feel like we covered some really great shit.
Oh yeah.
This was dope, and I'm surprised we kept people as long as we did talking about all our shit. So thank you guys for fucking staying tuned in. We got a ton of stuff planned for 2026. I'm gonna work on getting some more people to come do Cody Central episodes with me. If you guys were here earlier, you saw that Hellhound Film Club is coming back next year as well. We're going to have weekly episodes of that. There's going to be all sorts of great stuff happening. Ton of stuff on the YouTube channel already. I dropped a new lyric video recently. We got some show footage that we've put up there. All sorts of dope stuff. So please make sure that you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. Please consider joining Patreon. Patreon.com/Hellhound Publishing. You can join for as little as $1 a month and get exclusive access to everything we got going on. And there is going to be so much more going on next year. And that is all from us, from Hellhound Publishing for 2025. It's been a tumultuous year. We've had some ups and downs. We've had some people come, some people go. But this Hellhound thing is not going anywhere. It's fucking Hellhound till we're underground. We've got so much shit in store for next year. And so thank you to everybody that stuck around for the journey. And thank you for everybody that's ready to burn it down with us next year. And signing off from the Secret Keyholders Operation Lounge here in Gate City is my dear friend Steve K. Thank you so much for coming through and doing this tonight. This was fun.
No, thanks for having me.
So much easier to do a pod when they have somebody to talk to and bounce off of. Now we'll be ready to do this next year. Hopefully next year we'll be in a slightly bigger recording space. Ryan, much love, brother. Ryan has pretty much been here for almost every single episode of the pod. Tonight was episode 45, I think.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So it's been a pretty crazy run. We're almost at 50 episodes. I will see all of you guys next year. Thank you for rocking with us. Love you guys. Preach. Good night. Cheers. I'm out.
Cody Central is written and produced by Cody Pope for Hellhound Publishing. If you'd like to sponsor the program and have your brand, podcast, or service featured, learn more about that today at www.hellhoundpublishing.com/Cody-Central. Additional ways to support the program include purchasing music, joining our Patreon for exclusive content, or simply donating at any of the links available in the QR codes above.
Well, I certainly feel sorry for you.